final of the pre-season Ansett Australia Cup. The honours went to North Melbourne, as did the spoils. Tonight, they return for the opening dance of the 1995 home and away season. The first of 185 games that will shape the AFL Premiership battle. Tonight, we return to the Melbourne Cricket Ground for what has quickly become a sporting institution. This is Friday Night Football. Tonight, North Melbourne and Adelaide kick off the 1995 AFL season.
Good evening, welcome to Friday Night Football. We're looking forward to this one. The news for the Crows, Greg Anderson is not playing. Matthew Kluzek has come into the 21, and they have made 3 other changes from last week's side that was beaten by 30 points in the Ansett Australia Cup final. Gerard Healy, welcome to Friday Night Football. I know when we looked at the fixtures and we saw this game about 2 months ago, we said, boy, are we looking forward to it.
Well, it's added a new dimension, hasn't it? Back-to-back games. We've got Robert Shaw. What surprises is he going to spring? Is Nigel Smart going to play on Wayne Carey, or perhaps is he going to be their centre-half forward?
Let's have a look at the North Melbourne lineup. Dean Laidley's back into the team. He was withdrawal last week with injury. Who are the key players, do you think?
Well, I picked out 3, in fact, Bruce. Swass, Martin and McKernan.
Let's just look, Gerard, before we go there, because North Melbourne are coming out. They have, as I said, Laidley is in to the side. Barnett Giannacheco out of the side from last week.
Well, Laidley is an important contributor because he does give them plenty of run off the half-back line. He's known as the junkyard dog, and he will certainly make it pretty tough for whoever he picks up this evening.
So much experience now in this team, and they must be cock-a-hoop with confidence after last week's win. What about the 3 major players?
Well, I thought North Melbourne came of age last week in the grand final, but the 3 players I think will be important tonight: Swass, Martin and McKernan. Corey McKernan, it's frightening. 22 games only he's played. At the same time, I think he's a better player than perhaps Wayne Carey for the same amount of games. There he is on screen, a big player. Got a handicap in golf of only about 7. But this player was the talk of the town last week. Mickey Martin, he's won a medal, and will he be able to cope with the spotlight that has been placed on him this week? And Wayne Swass was without doubt the most constructive and destructive midfielder.
Now the changes for the Crows, some experience for sure, with McDermott at Hall and Pittman back into the team.
Yes, and I think Tony Hall is going to be a vital player tonight, along with Modra. Their problem last week was that they didn't kick goals. I thought it was very even throughout the entirety of the game, except for the fact that the Crows couldn't kick a winning score. Modra's got to get a goal early just to offset Mick Martin's dominance of last week. He's got to put that behind him. He's got to attack from the front. And Tony Hall, well, he's just about everybody's favourite. He adds another dimension to a unidimensional side of last week, and I think that he'll probably get Keenan Reynolds. Should be a pretty good battle.
Okay, we'll look at the major players from the 2 sides.
The 1995 AFL Premiership season. Brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors Australia, Qantas, McDonald's, Mobil, Carlton Draft, and National Australia Bank.
So the scene is set for what should be an outstanding match tonight. North Melbourne obviously the favourites. The Crows playing their first match of the MCG since that 1993 preliminary final. Ground in terrific condition. We'll take a break. Back with more from the MCG. Never before so many savings with one home loan package.
It's much more than a home loan.
It can be a package for all your home finance needs.
We're going to save in the first year because we've got a low fixed rate.
And low application fee. Over the full term, you can save years and save thousands.
They even arranged our insurance for us.
And as part of the package, you can have a standard national credit card without the normal annual fee.
Call and ask the National about these and other savings with our tailored home loan package.
The multi-award-winning notebook, the NEC Versa, has been enhanced. All notebooks in the Versa range now have an integrated pointing device, faster processing, and a brighter screen.
Bob Jane T-Marts roll out the red carpet for drivers of small cars with quality radials at only $47, including fitting, balancing and valves. Get the red carpet treatment with quality radials for most small cars at only $47. Bob Jane T-Marts, the most trusted name.
Still punctual, Douglas. I am impressed.
If you want to be really impressed, do you know...
I ordered 2 large pizzas, Douglas. Not a lecture. There's your 16.90. Off you go.
But, Dad.
You're not going to ask me for a tip, are you?
No, Dad. This time I'm giving you a tip. 2 large pizzas are now only $14.90, so normally you save $2. But tonight, you don't. See ya.
2 large pizzas, now only $14.90. Phone 131166.
Quantro esciencio, questro allegario, vivanzian. Appensianio, la donna mi pie, quanto es rastie, avira torrantie, quel stanzanzionti, male.
Having trouble fitting into your jeans? Get into Riders by Lee. Saturday night, the stars come out on Channel 7.
Well, there's not really any hard and fast rules about crashing straight through a cockpit.
Australia's Mel Gibson.
We're going down.
Robert Downey Jr. lighting up the skies with action and excitement on Air America.
Don't worry. I crash better than anyone I know.
Then it's
Good morning, Vietnam!
Robin Williams in his award-winning role. The sensational Good Morning Vietnam after Air America, Saturday on 7.
Welcome back to the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Just a light rain falling for the moment. The ground does look in great condition. Gerard Healy, you talked about the evenness of last week, despite the scoreboard, as we take a look at some of the key elements from that Ansett Australia Cup final.
Yes, well, what we see on screen just proves that the Crows were a big chance in this game. Last week, they weren't fantastic, but they still won plenty of the ball out of the centre. They won it 11 times to 8. Inside 50, which was the key stat on this page, I think. They had more chances up forward than North Melbourne, but North Melbourne's efficiency proved too great, and along with a pretty good performance by Wayne Carey, they proved to be the winners. But if they can just do a little bit better up forward, and the addition of Tony Hall will certainly help that, we will have a very, very tight game on our hands this evening.
Gerard, thanks for that. The Big Dipper and Neil Curley down on the boundary line. Dipper, I believe a number of the North Melbourne players have just changed their boots.
Yes, Dennis Pagan did say to his players, you've got to wear stops here at the MCG, and also Waverley, he demands his players to wear stops in their boots, which is a positive thing.
Oh, certainly the night footy, like tonight, there's a bit of rain about now, it's definitely going to be wet. There'll be players slipping over as it is, but tonight's game is going to be a very exciting game. Now, I don't think there's anything much between these two sides, and it'll be very interesting to see how the coaches line it up. I think there'll be some changes from both coaches.
Do you think the model will start a full four, Kels?
Well, I guess they will go with him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the bench, but I don't think he will because we know the bench now. But this is going to be a great game to watch. Rain still coming down, Neil, and Dipper, welcome to the telecast, Robbo.
Oh, good on you, Bruce. It's great to be here again for another exciting AFL season.
And it looks like Wren is starting in the forward pocket, Gerard. McCarthy's got Carey. Remember, they fronted up to one another last week after that goal by McCarthy. Martin's got Modra. Where's Smart playing? At half forward by the look of it.
Yes, well, that was reasonably predictable, but interesting for North Melbourne. They've taken all their tools, a lot of them off the ground. Campbell, Capuano and Roberts all starting on the bench. Brown, Kuzak, Tregenza for the Crows.
So Pittman to go with Ushenko. Some changes from Robert Shaw and the Crows. Crows go to the right of screen. Powell running to the ground. Good tackle on him by Schwass, who was outstanding last week, arguably in the top 3 on the ground. McDermott in the thick of it, very early, as you would expect.
Longmire named as centre-half back. Thought he might have even got a run there. Down on form a little bit, but he's in the goal square with Brett Chalmers. Important early minutes for him.
Rain really tumbling down heavily now. Conditions are going to be tough. McDermott gets a handball about 20 metres away. Scholes left-hand handball good. Stevens quick kick away. Avoided the McKinnon tackle. Up to centre wing. Early goals could be important now. Wellman and Rock. Rock, who was slightly injured last week. Here's Carey. What a champion he is. King goes for full forward, a long way out. Bouncing ball. It sits up there. Bickley concedes a behind. The umbrellas come out, Robbo, because it's starting to pour here at the MCG. And North Melbourne get the first rush score.
Well, it's a pity, Bruce, because we've had some pretty good weather here in Melbourne over the last couple of weeks as we have a look at North Melbourne's interchange. Campbell, young Capuano and Mark Roberts, as already mentioned by Gerard. But it was noticeable that Mark Rasciuto had a bit of a go at Carey as he kicked the ball forward. The kick in goes to half-back. The Crows are under pressure in that area. Rasciuto's hand pass, not far enough to clear. Armstrong it is for North Melbourne. Kicks it back towards full forward. The ball hits the ground. Longmire recovers. There was a tremendous effort affected. Gave Longmire the chance. Still he got caught. Back to Armstrong. Armstrong gets it to Carey. Carey can't break that tackle. He
It was a beauty applied by Bickley. Now Ellison. Shot for goal. There's a free kick in that forward pocket from where Ellison kicked the ball forward. It looks as though it may go to North Melbourne to be taken by Brett Ellison. The snapshot, well, I don't really think it was a shot at goal. He looked as though he was trying to kick it to the front of the square, Jared, and it was ineffective, so he's a bit fortunate that he's got another chance as we see exactly what the infringement was all about.
Yeah, the tackle just slipped above the shoulders a little bit unfortunate for the Crows, and Brett Ellison, of course, on his left foot. Bit of a chance, already an interchange for the Adelaide Crows.
Well, experienced campaigner now, Brett Ellison. Shot for goal, dropped short, it's forced over, a free kick. It will go to the Crows to be taken in the full-back area by Pittman.
Tregenza just coming onto the ground. I think it's Powell coming off by the blood rule.
Pittman to half-back. McCartney, the target. Round the body by Scott Lee, who did very well when he came on last week. Or was it Rashudo? It was Rashudo. And out of bounds. There is Powell off the ground with the blood rule, and Tregenza on.
Anthony Stevens once again running with Tony McGuinness up on the half-forward, and on the other half-forward flank for the Crows, Andrew Jarman up against the Junkyard Dog.
Expected to get down to 7 degrees tonight, currently 10. Rain is still falling, abated just a little. McGuinness, the captain of the club. David Brown in the foreground there. North Melbourne 11-4 on, Adelaide 7-4 against. Matthew Kluzek was alongside Brownie there. He's coming for Anderson tonight. Rashudo went off the ground, McDermott on the bottom. Pittman tried to squeeze one out, then got down, well played. Left-hand handball by Connell, McGuinness, Stevens runs into him. Jarman's tackle on Stevens, Crows with a couple of chances. Rashudo at half-forward, gets some distance. Oh, good mark by Wren. Stuck up these big mitts and they stuck in there.
Robert Shaw obviously determined to make this move work, and I think it's a pretty good attempt at creating a little bit more strike power up forward. It's worked quite well in the Ansett Australia Cup. Broke down last week, but perhaps tonight is the one.
Important kick this for Wren. They need an early goal, you'd reckon. The Crows leans back, not bad. He's got it. Well, just looking, Gerard, today, in his last 4 seasons, Wren has kicked 3 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals and 5 goals. So that's a good start for him in 1995.
Yes, and we'll certainly give the coach plenty of confidence. He's obviously pinpointed that as an area where Wren can improve, and gee, what a damaging player. Not only can he kick the odd goal, take a great mark, he's also up there to take the boundary throw-ins, and they are pretty important.
Well, obviously Pittman is a key player in that strategy, and he goes for the ruck contest. Taken away by Blakey, couldn't clear the pack quite. Scott it is for North Melbourne, a high kick towards half-forward. The ball hits the ground. McDermott attempted gather. Ishchenko forces it forward for North Melbourne. This is Scott Lee for the Crows. Kicks with his right foot quickly. Wide. Scott again into the action. Couldn't control the football. And it goes over for a boundary throw in at left half forward for North Melbourne. The Kangaroos have kicked it behind. And the Crows have kicked a goal. Robert Scott in the foreground. His opponent at this stage is McKinnon. Ruck contest. Pittman and Ishchenko. Scott. Rashudo, bit of an airy, Armstrong, now a chance for Rock again, gets around and has a good look, kicks it in towards half forward, but chipping in is Rashudo to take a good mark in difficult circumstances. He kicks it quickly. This is Wellman. Wellman, the kick off the side of his boot slightly. It's gathered brilliantly by McGuinness. McGuinness kicks quickly, but it lands on the chest of Scholl.
At half-back, or smothered by Smart. North should be okay. Reynolds will get a second go at it, along with Armstrong and Scott coming into the team from different clubs last year. So you've got to say they've recruited pretty well. McKinnon, Pittman. They make a bit of a meal out of it, the Crows. Pittman to half-forward, bouncing ball. Not well played, Adelaide. They had a chance to do something there. Reynolds wide. Jamison, normally skillful, on the left, goes to Jarman. Good-looking kick. Stretches and gets him at 50. Jarman, normally constructive, in low, Hall attacks it hard, Pittman tries to carry it forward, can't get rid of a bump, caught, gone, surely. Looked mesmerising in the end.
I thought Simon Tregenza last week just gave Swass just that little bit too much latitude, and I see that Robert Shaw has now got O'Connell on him. keeping him just out of the play at the moment.
North Melbourne played on from that free kick in the full back line, and the ball cleared towards left half back where Scott has taken it over. And Powell, Dipper, we've got a report on the boundary line.
Yes, unfortunately he's cut his left eye and is receiving 3 stitches at the moment.
So he's off for the blood rule. Thanks, Dipper, as McGuinness is tackled by Schwartz. Just trying to think last week off the top whether Adelaide were ever in front of North Melbourne in that Ansett Australia Cup. I've got my doubts whether they ever led them. North certainly got the early goals. Carey kicked a couple in a hurry. So not a bad start. Very early doors, as you would say, Robbo, as yet. But the signs are there that it's going to be a pretty even match.
Well, my word, Bruce. And I think Adelaide have got everything to fight for here after getting beaten quite dismally, I thought, last week in the finish by 5 goals.
Corey McKernan on the bench has been replaced by Warren Campbell.
Boundary throw in right half forward for the Crows. This time it's Wren doing the ruck work in the forward line. Reynolds for North Melbourne, kicks it high, back towards the wing. A contest back there, punched away very well in the finish by Blakey to the back. Pittman again, starting to get his hands on the football around the middle of the ground. Lee's kick towards half forward. Jarman, brilliantly controlled, gets it to McGuinness. McGuinness off that right foot, kicks to the front of the goals. The attack on the football was fantastic by Smith. His kick off the ground, not quite effective. He goes after it again, but some desperate stuff shown by McDermott at centre half forward for the Crows, and it's held in. A bounce will take place.
Now, I know the AFL are trying to outlaw the Paxton as an interesting spectator, but I thought McDermott could have been paid a little bit of reward for being on the bottom of that Paxton.
Do you hope that spectator wasn't on the way home from a job today?
Forced forward, but here it is, Bickley for the Crows. Well done. A little quiet in the final of the Ansett Cup, but a very important player, and so is this guy. Wren's left foot snap. Second goal to Wren, second goal to the Crows.
In 7 News tomorrow night, the aftermath of the opening round. Who were our best? How did Shaw's men match up? The details and other AFL highlights in 7 Nightly News.
Nobody knows how to live like 7.
See the superstars of the big league Saturday. At 5, Richmond take on New Boys Fremantle. At 6:30, grand finalist Geelong play Melbourne. A Saturday AFL doubleheader. And don't miss Collingwood and Carlton live 1:30 Sunday.
Crows by 11 points of the MCG. North Melbourne out of the centre. Carey being gang tackled there, 3 of them. Quick left foot by Lee, but turns it over. This is King, who was impressive last year in his 19 games for the Kangaroos. The centre half forward. Lee goes at the back as McCartney and Carey were involved in a wrestle. Pittman got his hands on it, and he's done a number of times so far tonight. Free kick going to the Crows and to their former skipper McDermott. He's played 89 out of the 90 matches this club have been involved in. That's home and away and finals, not counting the night series. Goes wide, good looking kick, gives Smart a chance. Not a very strong effort by Smart. Scholl to Schwartz, to Ashenko in the heart of the centre square.
Big Alex spots the player wide. The kick goes too wide there for King, but he's able to gather the football, gets past McGuinness, and then Tregenza kicks in towards full forward. McCartney doing well in front of Carey. But the umpire sees that it's shepherding against McCartney. No argument from the Crows player. Free kick to Carey. How'd you see that, Jared?
Well, I thought fair decision from the umpire. McCartney just taking his line away. You saw him there, just eyes only for Wayne Carey, not for the ball. He had plenty of support coming. Just a bit of misjudgment early.
Wayne Carey, well within scoring distance. And a pretty good kick too. North Melbourne, but behind. So Carey misses with his first deliberate shot at goal. They've kicked 2 behind. Robert Shaw in the coach's box for the Crows as Chalmers kicks in to half-back.
Well, this is an area that the Crows must improve on tonight. Last week in the grand final, very ordinary kicking.
Carey takes it from Schwartz, goes to full forward. Long kick right there. Crows force it through from behind. So a couple of rush scores to North Melbourne so far and a missed goal for Carey. McDermott there at the foot of it as Dennis Pagan attempts to improve his view. Here's the Schwartz mark. He took off as a beauty against McCartney. And as Gerard said a moment ago, the Pros really struggled getting clean possession away from the kick-ins last week. Chalmers decides to go straight down the ground, kick it high, hopefully. Carey was there, not a good man to kick it high to. Tregenza broke the swash tackle, has a second go. Was a fade of the handball to McKinnon. Goes to half forward, Wren the target, very tall on Reynolds. Still with Wren, well played, but missed by McKinnon. McGuinness's little give to Tregenza. Tregenza inside, chance for Rashuto, who attacks Martin hard with the hip and shoulder. Scholl runs into trouble. Smart runs into the boundary line, out of play, right forward pocket. Pros attacking.
Yeah, it was a brilliant bit of sidestepping by an umpire there. How he got out of the road of the 4 or 5 players when the ball went forward then was amazing.
And Trent Nichols coming off the ground, going onto McKernan. Already the skipper of last year, McDermott, signaling they need a change.
Wren's kick to the pocket, off hands, out of play.
Jamison just coming back into the defence, picking up McKernan. Now, he did struggle with that player early in the game last week, where McKernan, in effect, got the Roos their first 2 goals.
Forward pocket for the Crows. Wren with the advantage, you'd reckon. Left foot. Doesn't quite get there. McGuinness, had an airy when he really should have taken it cleanly. Pressure from King. McGuinness goes to ground. Well played, King. Scooped it up superbly and is away.
He's kicked in towards the centre of the ground. Punched away. The ball rebounds. Tackled well was Campbell. Ball spills down for McKinnon. Tackled by Rock. Very effective. Ball still near the centre of the ground here at the MCG. Just up between Wellman and Allison. In goes Lee, Carey and McCartney, and the umpire will bounce. That play that you're looking at now is about 15 metres from where the bounce will take place, back towards North Melbourne's goal. The bounce forward of the centre for the Adelaide Crows. Ball not clear by Campbell, taken by Scott for North Melbourne. Left foot by Scott, not too bad. The bounce awkward for Allison. Taken by Lee, then Bickley, now McCartney. McCartney's kicked towards half-forward Jarman. Well, that wasn't bad. I think he could probably meant that to Tregenza. Tregenza's kicked the ball forward. Awkward. Modra. Snapshot by Tony Modra. Bounces just to the right and goes through for one behind to Adelaide.
Good recovery there by Tony Modra. He, in fact, lost his footing when the ball was coming, as we see Howe still struggling to contain that bleeding. But I think Modra has still got to get in front and lead directly up the ground.
Armstrong, good kick to centre wing to Scott. This is what North did so effectively last week from the kick-ins. Scott to McKernan and Schenko. They actually probably got in one another's road in there. Well played, Jamison to Wellman. All caught, great tackle, holding the footing. Too slow. Allison and Wellman have had a dust-up a moment ago, and Allison is nearly in range. He's a thumping kick. He'll put this right there, I reckon.
This is almost a modern-day sin of football, like kicking across the face of goal. In your day, Robbo, you just can't jump back through a pack as Wellman tried to do there.
Goes short, gets long mine at 40 metres.
I think, Gerard, the thing that I've noticed over the last 10 or 15 or 20 years, that the tackling is so efficient that you can't take that punt, that you can break it.
That's the point exactly. I think a quantum leap in probably the last 3 or 4 years in the tackling, Robbo. Warren Campbell appears to be coming off the ground. Important this for John Longmire, a bit down on confidence.
Kicks from about 45 metres. Timed it all right. Got it.
You want to spill blood on the same patch of grass as the men that came before you. It doesn't separate men from boys. It tears them apart. Broken fingers, 2 shoulder reconstructions, 40 stitches in my face. I'd recommend the game to anyone. I've walked off the field with fewer points than my opponent, but I've never walked off the field a loser.
So the bounce has taken place and the Crows have forced the ball to half forward. There it's taken by Stevens. Hand pass wide, Blakey. Blakey's got a bit of room to move, gets back onto his right foot and kicks it in towards half forward. Looks for McKernan, ball comes to the back, McDermott doing well. Scott Lee, the little kick is okay, and he finds Bickley at right half back. Bickley's kick is a bit of a wobbly one. Towards half forward, made it a bit awkward for the forwards. McGuinness, a handball to no one in particular. Scholl is there to mop up for North Melbourne. The kick by Craig Scholl, nearly well marked there by McKernan, with his hands out in front of his face. A fraction slow, Schwartz is there to help out. A couple of little toe pokes off the ground, and then an effective one. Goes after it again. Gee whiz, if he can get a goal out of this, it'll do soccer a crowd. Longmire's kick is brilliantly smothered. magnificently smothered by Lee and forced over for a boundary throw-in.
Well, this is just inspirational stuff from Scott Lee. He brought his hands down at the same flight as the football, didn't come from over above it, therefore blocking its path.
McCartney, danger. Scott got a bad bounce.
He's hot out there.
McKinnon. Long line. McKinnon, Scott. Left-hand handball, not good. Missed his target. Wellman punches it out.
Well, Wellman just about could have put John Longmire into the Prince Albert. I'm with you, Jared. Well, we don't mean that literally, but it's very hot, the pressure at the present time.
Not with malice, but a fair, solid bump was there to be delivered.
Centre breaks we just saw a moment ago, 3-1. Ishenko in the front, looking for Rock, went to ground, Scott with him. So it's at half forward, and the Crows are leading at 2 goals, 1 to 1 goal 3. On the Friday night football on 7 Sport, North Melbourne and Adelaide. Scott, Armstrong, Allison at 40, overran it, might get another go. Paul Pittman ran all over the top of him. Surely a free kick, Kerry doesn't like it.
Very crude.
He went short the last time from about 55. Can get hurt, unfortunately, when that happens.
Yes,
Allison centering kick, a good one. Play on call. Crows got the numbers there in a hurry. Jamison under pressure. McDermott, good hands by Bickley.
Oh, spectacular footy, Bruce, there for the Crows to get the ball clear. A good contest provided by McGuinness on Stevens, but the ball gathered by Laidley to Nichols, grabbed by Wellman. Gee, it's a fantastic contest, man on man. Not too many easy kicks being won at the moment. Bickley kicks the ball to half forward. Wren probably should have taken that mark. Reynolds, too fierce the handball for Craig Scholl. The ball forced to right half forward. Modra, was that throwing the ball? Not according to the umpire.
He definitely threw that one up in the air, then hit it, didn't hit it off his hand, constituting a throw. But I thought it was interesting, the battle between Reynolds and Wren on that occasion. Wren almost took the mark with his superior height, but then the advantage of Keenan Reynolds' recovery was also evident in the one episode.
Well, being forced to do the ruck work there was Keenan Reynolds. Scott, who's played well in the first term. Handball for Stevens. Too fierce there for Armstrong. Pittman and Jarman combined. Jarman's kicked towards full forward. And very well done by Wren. Too tall, puts his big long arms out in front of his face. And has marked about 30 metres out directly in front. Well, 2. So a chance for the champion Adelaide ruckman Sean Wren to have 3 goals on the scoreboard, and the quarter with still 5.5 minutes left. Goes for goal. I think he's let himself down.
I think Dennis Fagan would have to be thinking Corey McKernan at this stage. Even Mark Roberts, who's on screen, fresh, has played in defence. In fact, played many games for Sydney Swans at full back.
You're talking about for Wren, are you, Jared?
That's right.
Gee, Wren's fresh legs late in the game might be handy on the ball if he can keep him in the forward pocket for a while. Smith wide, here's McKernan, Wren at the back. Ball comes to ground. Scott, who has been effective early. Carey sits and waits. Well played, McCartney, attacked it hard. Scott's had 5 touches early. Kicked 84 goals in 2 separate seasons. And we see that North Melbourne have won 71% of their games at the MCG under the lights. Adelaide have won 77% at Football Park under the lights. So when they say that North Melbourne are the nighttime specialists, well, maybe, but the Crows at Footy Park are pretty good too.
And the Adelaide Crows with 12 night games this year.
Still 5 points of difference here. It's been a terrific first quarter of football. Ricciuto.
That's got to be holding the man.
Just hung on a bit too long in the end, Rock, didn't he? So Ricciuto from centre wing.
Mark Ricciuto, one of the outstanding youngsters in AFL football today. The kick, very awkward there, landing just before Nigel Smart could even try and make a half volley of it. And it goes over for a boundary throwing.
Craig Scholl well on top of Nigel Smart at the present time. He's had 5 touches. Smart yet to get an effective disposal, but at the other end, McCartney doing quite well on Carey.
Boundary throw in at right half forward for the Crows, or severe tackle or attempted tackle by maybe Smart, was it, Jared, on Stevens?
Yeah, I just wonder whether Stevens had his head down and kept ducking as he, well, I'm not sure about that one, Robert.
Well, it was Wren first, and Smart dragging the North Melbourne player away from the ball. Mark taken by Scott Lee. He's done pretty well early in the game. He's had 4 kicks and 2 hand passes. That's his 5th kick. In towards half forward. In short, good mark taken by Wren. And Gerard, a change has been made already by the Kangaroos.
McKernan down onto Wren.
McKinnon, left foot, tries to bring it back, misses the behind. So Adelaide, you get the feeling, Gerard, in the last 5 minutes on top, but haven't been able to put it on the scoreboard. They've had a fair bit of footy, 2-3 to 1-3.
But they've definitely rested the ascendancy from North Melbourne of last Saturday night. I think at the present time, as you say, their dominance isn't reflected on the scoreboard, but they'll go into the quarter-time huddle a lot more confident than perhaps they started.
Schwartz to himself and then goes out long. Wren and Blakey, you'd back Wren normally, goes for the thump. Good move in the end to McDermott, goes back. Little short kick by Connell. They need a bit of luck here. Going to ground, Rashudo. Armstrong with him. Not well played by the Crows in the end. Schwartz. And away from the back pocket goes Ross Smith. Wren with a chance. Got a good bounce. Handball okay. Rashudo's quick kick, long kick, right there to the goal square. Tony Hall, gee, no one down. This is a problem they had last week. Mickey Martin away from full-back. Long kick, Nichols, brave mark. He could see Wellman coming and he kept his eye on the footy.
Terrific play by Trent Nichols. That's inspirational stuff for North Melbourne. They may get a goal out of this. Blakey towards full forward. The ball spills to the back. Knocked away by Chalmers. Gathered by Longmire. Reynolds in trouble. Having a bit of difficulty getting up with the tempo, Keenan Reynolds. McDermott's kick in towards the centre of the ground. Knocked away from the Crows forwards. Now Rashudo. Taken away by King. He just dropped that. Hand pass, not far enough. Connell gets it to McInnes. McInnes' right foot kick. North Melbourne player down behind play. The ball forced forward by McKinnon. Opportunity for Scott once again. Robert Scott from left half back. Short kick is okay. And the mark has been taken by Armstrong.
Kicked that fantastic goal on his behind the play. Looks a high tackle.
And David King.
And McDermott was in the screen there. Carey with McCartney. Scott again. 7th touch inside to centre half forward. Longmire got a tricky one. Bickley ridden into the ground by Allison. Might have been a bit stiff. Rock over the top of Wellman. And it'll be a ball up. 2 minutes remaining. 10 touches, I should say, for Scott. Saying earlier, he kicked 42 goals in 1989 for the Cats and 42 in 1992. They're good figures from a forward rover. Come midfielder. Pittman, Allison, Wellman, McDermott in trouble. Gets it to McCartney. McInnes, I reckon for the 5th time tonight, caught on his right leg, which is his wrong side, out of play. He's had 4 and 2, McInnes.
And Ishenko resting at about the 20-minute mark of this quarter, as he often does. Capuano has replaced him in the row.
Now, the MCG, Adelaide have won 40% of their matches. North have played a lot more in the last 2 seasons, have won 57%. Nichols.
Kick across his right shoulder towards full forward. Scott Lee again, gets past Allison. Quick kick towards half back. Bumped away. Over the boundary line by Wayne Schwartz. And at left half forward, it's perhaps not quite up to half forward for North Melbourne. And Tony Hall on the bench for the Crows as the boundary throw in. It's about 90 to 95 metres around from North Melbourne's goal. And a free kick has been awarded to Pittman. So Pittman for the Crows will kick it forward. Doing a pretty good job around the middle of the ground for the Crows, allowing them to play Wren at full forward. Wren in the back. McKernan takes a fairly straightforward free kick just behind the centre. He kicks wide, out towards the wing. Making good ground and a brilliant chest mark in the finish by Carey. He plays on and kicks towards the forward pocket. And similarly, Longmire dives and hugs it to his chest 50 metres from goal.
Well, both marks were classic examples of players making the extra yard. Often players just wait back, put in the short step and try to take it on the half volley. But the rewards and the extra time you get from taking a mark, well and truly worth the effort.
Well, the 2 key forwards for North Melbourne, Wayne Carey and John Longmire, figuring in that passage of play. Carey applauding as Longmire goes for goal from 50 metres. Gets underneath it a little bit. It'll go to the line. Has it been touched? I don't think so. It's a North Melbourne behind. lots of people excited, including the commentators here at the MCG, as Jamieson kicks to himself, but the goal umpire had not completed his duties. Jamieson goes back and then kicks it to the left back pocket. It's been taken by Chalmers. Chalmers plays on and then kicks long towards centre wing, and a good mark taken by Rashudo, covering plenty of territory as Mark Rashudo kicks the ball long distances in towards half forward. The siren sounds as Nigel Smart takes the ball over the boundary line, and that would have been his only touch for the quarter. But at quarter time, the Crows lead. They're 2-3. North Melbourne are 1-4.
Pretty good quarter by the Crows. Wren's got 2 goals and Wongmai 1 so far. Lots of changes, Gerard, have been made prior to the match. You tipped that Smart might go up forward, and he did, and that McCartney might get the job on Carey.
Well, in one occasion it hasn't worked because Smart hasn't touched the football, Craig Scholl being quite good. But the big move, of course, is Sean Wren to the forward line, and Robert Shaw will be very happy with the success of that. It's had 2 positive effects for them. One, he's got goals on the board, but 2, it's dragged McKernan out of the forward line for North Melbourne, which has also forced Wayne Carey to take marks further up the ground.
So at quarter time, it's the Crows by 5 points over the Kangaroos. It's 1-4-2-3.
They're back. Rex and the boys on the Sportsworld Footy Panel. The original Footy Forum, Sunday on 7.
There's a beautiful tropical island, I'm not telling you where. A soft wind is blowing, it's perfect for growing a certain kind of coconut there. It's moistened by the mist, sweetened by the sun, it's the California coconut. There's only one thing to top it, Bounty's chocolate.
Bounty, the taste of paradise.
I'll be lucky to fly as far as the end of the street. What? You're kidding.
Bob Jane T-Marts roll out the red carpet for drivers of small cars with quality radials at only $47, including fitting, balancing and valves. Get the red carpet treatment with quality radials for most small cars at only $47. Bob Jane T-Marts, the most trusted name.
More people prefer heating with gas because
hands need thawing, toes need warming, because of smart old heat-seeking dogs. Because the cute little butts, because the storytelling nuts, why gas? Well, just because.
more people prefer heating with gas because it gives instant warmth. It's clean, comfortable, and well, just because.
Why gas? Well, just because.
Look out! Look out! Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Look out! Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wintertime at Peter Shearer. Now that's cool.
Look out for the man who goes by the name Peter Shearer.
Peter Shearer Menswear, Rundle Mall.
Let's get him out! Good idea to bring that horse in, ain't it? Yeah, I don't think this rain's ever going to stop. Crikey, let's get out of here! You little flies! Didn't you see that lady's face? Crikey, what if Mom finds out?
Our extra value meals still include a large burger, medium Coke and fries for only $3.95 because old-fashioned value is nothing new at McDonald's.
Longmire has the goal for North Melbourne and Wren both the goals for Adelaide at quarter time. It's 1-4 North Melbourne and 2-3 Adelaide. How did they line up down the corridor, Gerard?
Well, Martin picked up Modra as we would have expected. Craig Scholl on Nigel Smart. Well, a lot of people were tipping that, and it's come off. Nigel Smart yet to touch the ball, but for Adelaide to win the flag, I think he has to be a dominant centre-half forward. McDermott doing well in the middle on Armstrong, a little bit more effective. McCartney also has control of Carey, and John Longmire showing some encouraging signs.
So that was the spine as they lined up. The big dipper, Neil Curley.
Dennis Pagan did ask his players to maintain the footy, obviously with the conditions like this, Curls, and every opportunity kick long into the goal square, because he's shown a lot of faith in Longmire tonight.
Well, the conditions are not good for a short game, and I guess it's the long stuff that's going to win the footy match. But once again, it's half-forward line where the Crows are having trouble with Pippin on the ground playing well. It affords the luxury of Wren up forward, where he's being a very valuable player.
But both sides with a loose man in defence at the start, Bruce.
Good on you, Jared. Neil and dipper down on the line as McDermott's quick kick. So Michelle, who had a good first term on Smart, bangs it back to centre half forward. Carey again caught between a couple. It's the Crows tactic. It's been pretty effective so far. Jamison over the top, couldn't get rid of it. Stevens has handball, Roberts on the ground. Scott Lee, brave as always. McCartney, Bickley, probably had a bit more time. Now McDermott, high ball, doesn't go very far down the ground though. Wren or Jarman, take your pick. In the heart of the centre square. Jarman takes it. Modra will provide a lead, you'd think. Now he goes in the Modra direction. He'll have a couple against him. Martin gets back there. Now Ross Smith away from the back pocket. Goes wide. North have got numbers. McKinnon's got to go. Couldn't quite get into the act. Capuano to Schwass. Schwass away at half-back. Probing kick to centre half forward. Carey again outnumbered. Rock came in from the side. Carey off the ground through Bickley's hands. Free kick. Bickley kicking in danger. I think he had 6 stitches in the webbing of his hand in three-quarter time last week, Bickley. Carey unhappy.
The tactics working quite efficiently against Carey, Jared, half forward.
Yes, well, I think McCartney is on top, and he's getting a little bit more assistance today with McKernan up the other end of the ground. He has to play a genuine centre-half forward position.
Certainly the players down the ground, forcing the North Melbourne players to kick quickly in towards the half-forward area. There's Sean Wren in picture, Reynolds, Campbell and Ischenko. 3 fairly tall players on the bench for North.
Well, I guess that's a consideration. Did they go in? Perhaps just the one tall too many.
Right half forward for Adelaide. Boundary throw in. Down goes Armstrong. Tackle effective by McDermott. Brown it is. Kicks the ball forward. Jarman tries to get it to Modra, but Martin is there. Now Scholl. Scholl the little kick. Laidley coming into the play. He's kicked towards the wing. It's pretty good. And he finds Blakey. Blakey looks to run on. Succeeds. He's kicked towards the 50-metre line. The ball spills to the back. Went straight through young Capuano. Overrunning the ball, but it's Scott Lee who gets back for the Crows. He's kicked towards the half-back right, and the mark has been taken out there by Connell. Handball Bickley, then McDermott. McDermott doing well, as Jared mentioned at quarter time. He's kicked towards half-forward. Wren could have nearly taken the mark. McKernan forced to kick quickly. Struggle there. Jarman is underneath it. Scholl is the tackler, and the umpire has decided on a bounce on the right-hand point of the square in Adelaide's half-forward area. Powell in trouble. His eye, well, very, very much in question there. Now McGuinness from about 55, 60 metres. Again kicking with the right foot towards full forward the mark. Taken by Mickey Martin.
Caught now for Tony Modra, just to keep his cool. He hasn't had really many opportunities. The ball hasn't been delivered to him. He's got to keep the confidence up.
Rock read it pretty well, went to ground. Connell over the top. Played a handful of games at West Coast. Short by Wren, okay, but Stevens chipped in on McGuinness. Good smother off the boot there. I think it was Wellman. And a second one. May have been Connell. I'll pick him up. It was Connell. Out of play at half forward. Crows attacking.
Classic second effort performance there from Connell. 2 smothers in 2 seconds.
Laidley back. One of a number of players in North Melbourne who started their careers with other clubs in the AFL. Quick kick by Ross Smith, but only as far as McKinnon.
How far did that go?
Maybe 10, if that, Robbo. He was one of the players who was loose, as Jared said at the start. Wellman, the other one. That's not a good kick by McKinnon. Modra not getting into the contest, so the signs are not good for Modra early in the second quarter. Laidley's little kick. Again's a clever. Gets a second go. Important kick, this one. Connell, no, not a good one by Tregenza. Really gave Connell only a 50-50 ball. Blakey's off, he's gone. Smart's got him, but Blakey's able to get rid of it. Connell's pulled off it, didn't get a free kick. Now Smart's got the umpire. No advantage. Now McGuinness at 50, caught. Has to concede some ground, free kick. I think the Crows are a bit unlucky there.
Yes, eventually it's going to crack for the Crows, though. They're just applying enormous amounts of pressure on the North Melbourne defence. To their credit, they are standing up against the battery of the Crows, but one just gets the feeling that they're about to crack.
Stevens kicks towards the wing. Good strong mark taken there by Capuano. Matthew Capuano played 3 games last year for North Melbourne. Kicks in towards half forward. Roberts couldn't take the mark. Kick forward by Rock. Chance here for Scott. Missed the ball. Tregenza didn't. Picks up, kicks with the left foot back towards the centre of the ground. Smith overruns it. McKernan punch. Gatherers by King. Pretty quick, David King. His kick towards half forward, ill-directed as far as the forwards for North Melbourne are concerned. Chalmers able to get back. Gathers. Longmire applies pressure. Chalmers' kick lands on the chest out there of Matt Connell.
That's been a far more important area for the Adelaide Crows that they've improved on. Just more stability out of the back line. They are pinpointing passes, maintaining possession, rather than just bombing it as they've done over the last year or so.
Rashudo coming up for his 7th kick.
Centres it, Wren's his target at centre half forward. Couldn't hold it, McKernan. Kick away, McKernan doing all right on Wren back there. 2 of the real young guns in the competition. Carey with the throw. King to centre half forward. Roberts attacks it. Might get a second chance. Still with Roberts. Allison on the up, very good. Armstrong, good footy. Here's a goal. Schwartz from 30 metres, goes for it, misses it. Well, he had every chance there, didn't he? He was only 30 metres away, all on his own. He'll be disappointed. Have a look at this. Can't believe it.
Probably could have taken another couple of strides. Do you think, Jarek, got a little bit closer?
I guess so. For a player of Swass's ability, though, you put them down as gimmies, but we've all missed them over the years.
Just 3 goals in the game so far. It did rain earlier. You wouldn't say that was an excuse. Both defences very much on top. This is McCartney for the Crows. A little kick by that player. Finds Lee. Lee close to the wing. Kicks towards half forward. Very wide. Smart as mark, but it may be over the line on the full. Free kick to North Melbourne. And it's taken back there by their state representative, Craig Scholl. The kicker towards the centre of the ground. Gatherers by McKinnon. Then Pittman. Now McGuinness. Wider still to Wellman. Good prospect. Sean Wellman kicks it towards the full forward area. Looks for Modra. The ball clears the players back there. McKernan wet for the football. And Brown. Martin under pressure. Goes to the boundary line. Questionable. Umpire gives the all clear to the boundary umpire to throw it in.
The umpire's on the Mickey Martin bandwagon, do you think, Robert?
Well, he's a popular player, isn't he, Mick? About 45 metres from the Crows' goal, boundary throwing. Wren, in front was McKernan. Wren tried to get the ball clear. Brown, Smart, McGuinness tackled by Smith, was a fierce tackle. Stevens goes down. Scott goes down. Keep your footing and you may get a kick. McDermott and Jarman combine. Jarman's kick to the pocket. Gathered by Wren. Away to Brown. Snapshot by Brown. Mickey Martin plays the percentages and bashes it through for a rush behind to the Adelaide side.
Just playing in front, paying off there for Mick Martin once again. Pretty much of a mongrel kick coming in from Brown. And he just didn't read it well enough, Modra, to be in front.
Laidley in the back pocket. They went very short, North Melbourne, to Blakey. Percentage footy there. Just a couple of kicks though, and only 35 metres away. Blakey back. Smith from the half-back to centre wing. Capuano. Pittman goes early. Capuano has the second go. Oh, well played, Carey. But Lee attacked it strongly. Schwartz won't be happy with that. McCartney goes to ground. Bickley with courage again, kicking in danger. That was, I think Schwartz has reacted to what happened earlier. And when he has a look at the replay, Wayne Schwartz, he'll be pretty disappointed with this. Because Bickley's been cleaned up pretty badly.
There's been a number of classic hospital handballs tonight. That's the first one that's been collected. I think he was just attacking the ball, maybe, Bruce.
Rashudo. McGuinness. Brown.
Right.
To McGuinness. Short to Wren. Here's a goal, surely. That's his third. No, he's missed it well.
He just rushed it on that occasion. He had plenty of time. He just had to get his momentum running with the centre of the goal. He just flailed at the ball, and there's only a 50-50 chance.
Well, it was a gimme though, wasn't it?
You wouldn't get too many easy chances like that, especially in a tight game like this.
I mean, that's why he missed it, because the pressure was intense.
Lately to himself goes wide.
The kick towards half-back. Punch forward for the Crows. Brown handball over the top. McGuinness again off the right foot. Kick towards full forward, Smart. The two number 7, Smart and Laidley. But the mark has been awarded to Nigel Smart directly in front and only 20 metres out.
Nigel Smart, well, he could have left it for Jan, but I think he had the momentum and a pretty good performance. First kick for the night, Robert.
Yes, Nigel Smart very quiet in the first term. Got a touch as the siren sounded to end the first quarter. So his first kick results in a goal.
Lynn and Doug have a little secret, and he knows it.
I witnessed them.
Now,
Is this a bad time?
he'll use anything, anyone,
What are you?
and do the unthinkable to make them pay.
What is it you're really after?
Blade Runner's brilliant Rutger
What
Hauer,
is it going to take?
Rebecca De Mornay,
We're getting it over with now.
and Ron Silver in the sensual premiere thriller Blind Side, 8:30 Sunday on 7.
3-5 to 1-5. Tregenza's handball to McDermott. Modler in the front spot. Martin at the back. King runs it out of play. So the Crows are a couple of goals in front here. They lead by 2 in a low-scoring game. Gee, North Melbourne. And remember how successful they were last week in the Ansett Australia Cup, where they were able to gang up against Modler successfully with 2 players coming across, and it worked very well. That was a flashback to last week. In the pocket here. Hall goes for it, can't get it. Over the top of it might be King. Trying to get him is Connell. Jarman's little hounds. Brown went to ground. Stevens, Brown again. Over the top, handball out. Chance for Wren. Oh, Mickey Martin well played again. And as we showed in that flashback a moment ago, Smith and Martin combined so well last week against Modra, and Martin started pretty well tonight.
A good play by Mickey Martin. They're outnumbered. And he's forced a boundary throw in the right forward pocket for Adelaide. Wren and McKernan. Ball comes down to Stevens. He gathers, then gets his left foot to it. Kicks it wide out towards the wing. The mark is taken by Capuano. Capuano is not quite up to the wing. He plays on. The smother affected by Pittman. It comes back to Capuano. He throws the ball onto his left foot, but the mark taken by Rusciuto.
That's where Adelaide are doing far better tonight. They're getting numbers back in defence. They're creating that wall across half-back. They know North Melbourne will bomb it to Carey. A little bit predictable under those circumstances, and they're winning the football, taking it forward with crisp possessions, that not being one of them.
Rusciuto, perhaps not quite as good a kick as he has delivered in the past. North Melbourne get the ball towards full forward. Longmire could have nearly taken that.
Once again, numbers at centre half-back.
McCarthy combines. Connell's on the end of the chain of hand passes. Kicks it out. Waited there for Tregenza. Tregenza gets past and then kicks with the right foot. Hooks the kick a little bit into the pocket. Punched away from Modra by Mickey Martin. And the North Melbourne fans are ecstatic because of Martin's performance so far. Robert Shaw not too pleased. Look at Mickey Martin defending grandly for the Kangaroos. The ball 50 metres from the Adelaide goal.
Smart goes along with Scholl. Here's Ross Smith under pressure, high ball. McDermott underneath it. It's been pretty good, McDermott. Played for Glenelg last weekend in the South Australian National Football League. It's his 10th touch coming up.
Tregenza's squad has been pretty important also, Bruce.
Yeah, lots of touches for him as well on the centre wing. Came off the interchange earlier. Goes in short. McDermott to Brown. Still outside of the range, though, at 50. I've seen him kick a couple from about here, but you'd say that it's about 5 metres too far out. Wren's in the goal square. Brown kicking from about 53 metres. Good kick, very good kick right there. Wren getting underneath it, runs into Jarman. Will claim a mark, but it won't be one, and it'll be a bounce.
I think under those circumstances, it's really, you've just got to go for percentage football. There's no way that Brown was ever going to kick that goal. Perhaps if Adelaide just cleared a bit of space, kicked it to the top of the square, and flooded the area with crumbers, they could manufacture something.
Wren's in there, along with McKernan. Quick kick by Stevens. Smart underneath it. Well done by Roberts. Rashudo runs into Schwartz. Tregenza back to Connell, who also has had a good turn. Chips it in. McCartney. Now, he's not a bad kick, McCartney. He's too far. He's about 70 metres. Modra stationary, now moving. McCartney's going to go for it. Doesn't time it. Wobbles it badly to fall forward. Taken clearly by McKernan, who's done pretty well back there.
Ordinary kick, though. Let himself down. McKinnon tackled by Roberts. Ball spills at Scott. Wide handball. Carey, good hands. Back to Scott. Scott's left foot kick towards half forward. The ball hits the ground. Ellison can't break clear of Lee, but he can get the hand pass to Scott. Scott goes in short. Mark taken by Stevens. This is Anthony Stevens for North Melbourne. He's kicking towards the 50-metre line. Nearly taken by Roberts. Gatherers by Allison. Sweeping hand pass. Scott again. Knocking up, getting hold of the football. He's kicked towards full forward. Back clear. Back towards half forward. Gathered by Stevens. Stevens a snapshot for goal is wide. And it's out of bounds on the full. So the free kick will be taken for Adelaide as Dennis Pagan and one of his helpers there, Mark Dawson, look on. This is Chalmers for Adelaide. He's kicked out towards half-back. The ball spills to the back. Knocked forward by Pittman. Makes a pass for McDermott. Little kick by that player from mid-air. Hacked out of there, but it's been marked by Scholl. He's asked to play on. Kicks in towards half-forward. Looking for the captain. Carey up high. Oh, he nearly grabbed it. Underneath that is McCartney. Gets the handball wide. Good play there by Pittman. Rashudo takes the hand pass. Kick towards half forward. Could have been nearly a free kick. Ross Smith up. Hard as nails. Clears for North Melbourne. Back towards the centre of the ground. Good half volley taken by Nichols. Brilliant football by the North Melbourne midfielder. His kick towards full forward has been marked brilliantly by Longmire. 50 metres from goal. He can kick to the square. The smother again is terrific. The defensive work of both sides has been first class. McDermott holds it up. And the umpire can do nothing more than bounce at the left-hand forward point of the square in North Melbourne's forward zone.
A change in midfield. Stevens has gone on to McDermott. And Armstrong now moved away from the centre. And he's on McGuinness.
McDermott, Connell breaks the tackle. Does pretty well from centre half-back up to half-forward. Smart in the front spot. King at the back. McGuinness with a bit of pace. Armstrong with him. Now McGuinness. Jarman, normally good hands under pressure from Lavey, out of play. The Crows going pretty well against the Kangas.
Free kick
to the Crows. McGuinness has got it. Modra front spot. Well done, Martin Modra. Second attempt, got it. Well, that'll give him a lift. I reckon that's the first time he's beaten Mickey in about 2.5 hours of footy. One out. Well, if he could kick this, it would give the Crows a 3-goal lead in a low-scoring game.
I think that's one of the key things was just keeping on having a go. And when players are down a little bit, the other his teammates can see having a go. It's good inspiration for everybody all over the field.
Kick. Pretty close. Missed. Modra. What's the situation with young Powell, Neil? Is he likely to come back?
I don't think so, Bruce. He's got a bad eye. It's swollen right up and he can't see out of that eye.
As a profile, you love them so much. How do you think they're travelling, Curls?
Oh, they're travelling very well. It's a good game of footy. They're certainly using the ball a lot better tonight than they did last week.
Well, North Melbourne a possession at half-back, but they gave it up, kicked it straight to McDermott. McDermott, we must reiterate, having a tremendous impact on this game with 12 possessions. And playing in the centre now, Anthony Stevens has gone in there to try and negate Chris McDermott's effect on the game. The kick towards half-forward, smooth off the side of the boot. And good fortune for Adelaide. Tony Hall has marked well within scoring distance.
Campbell coming onto the ground. Rock.
Yes, this is a slewed kick by Nigel Smart. You can see the ball through the air. And Tony Hall, there's a free kick being relayed down the ground. It's going to Adelaide to be taken by Brown. There must have been a holding incident further forward for Adelaide. North Melbourne fans not too happy. Wayne Schloss indicating his displeasure. So Brown should make a certainty of this. Nearly in the square, he kicks the goal.
There's an Australian airline that can fly you to over 90 destinations in 26 countries on 5 continents. It's not just Australia's leading airline, it's the largest airline in Southeast Asia. The airline that you know best.
4-6 to 1-5. It looks like David King might have given the free kick away against David Brown. We're all a bit in the dark up here. We weren't watching the action in the goal square. Pittman goes, Brown over the top, throws, have got a handy break. Pittman's been important off the ground. Mickey Martin attacks it, Modra gets him. Modra high tackle, no free kick. Play on call. Rashudo, Ball gave it up too quickly. Lately well played to Blakey. Blakey off one leg into the centre, courage there. By Nichols was in the centre of them. Carey's handball a beauty to Swash. Swash a wobbler. Important ball. Longmire one out. Normally does this well. Should kick a goal. This will lift them. Well played, Big Horse. That's his second. Oh, doesn't that send that chill down your spine when you see the big fella do that?
There's a Wayne Carey just coming down to pat old John Longmire on the backside. Wayne Swass just showing what an important player he is for North Melbourne. When he gets the football, something usually happens. Magnificent blind turn. And importantly, he ran in a straight line with the centre of the goals, and that's where the ball went. Perhaps that's what Sean Wren needed to do at the other end of the ground. But North Melbourne's only goal for the quarter today.
Very much standing up, John Longmire, as he becomes more experienced. The bounce in the centre. Up high was Capuano, trying to take the ball clear of the congested centre there was McDermott. But the umpire will be forced to bounce once again. Good spirit, McDermott and Stevens. Adelaide leading by 13 points. Ball comes back to McDermott, gets his right foot to it. Kicks it to within scoring distance for the Crows. The ball rebounds. Up high was King, taken away by Scholl. Kick quickly out towards the vacant wing area. The race is on out there. Connell and Allison. Allison drags Connell down, but the umpire gives the all clear for a boundary throw-in.
And Brett Chalmers being taken off the ground. Being replaced by Matthew Kluzak, who's going down onto Mark Roberts.
Boundary throw-in. Pittman from behind. Capuano. This is Allison. Off the left foot. Carey punched away. Back towards centre-half forward Proper. Tregenza's quick kick back towards the centre of the ground. Ball knocked away. McKinnon gets it to Brown. Brown from the left foot. Towards the foot. Specky nearly taken by Modra. Gathered by Tony Hall. Across his body, Tony Hall has missed.
It's been evident tonight, though, that if there's two options for the Crows, one out wide, one down the middle, that they've continually gone to the centre of the ground. Tony Modra just having a bit of airtime there. Jamison's gone on to John Longmire at the other end of the ground.
Smith straight down the centre. Wren well done against McKernan that time. King was there. McGuinness at 45 metres on his right leg. Goes for goal. Gets towards the goal square behind. Jamison has gone on to Longmire with the Kluzak move going on to Roberts. 4-8 to 2-5. There's Brett Chalmers. Longmire with the 2 goals that North have scored. What an exciting game it's been to half-time. Low scoring.
12 shots to 7 in favour of Adelaide.
It's a fair indication, you'd think. Smith out wide. Schwartz, oh, fantastically, couldn't quite hold it. He's lifted a bit here, Schwartz. Runs away with a bounce. Then goes a little one to Campbell at centre wing. North looking for a counter-attack here. Bickley's got to get underneath. It goes with one hand. Taken by Lee, caught, well tackled by Nichols. He's a sharpshooter. He could go from 40 metres. He has goal. The Kangaroos are coming back.
Ultratune and the family holiday.
It's been a while since the last service.
Yeah, well, your timing's great.
Oh, yeah? How's that?
We're cutting all major services by $30.
$30? Oh, only 4 cylinders?
No, off 4, 6s and 8s.
Oh, great.
It's a holiday special.
That sounds like your timing's right, mate. Book me in, will you?
I will, right.
I guess you can hear the precious cargo in the background here.
Sounds like my place.
Ultratune, in tune with you and your pocket these holidays.
Play of the day so far, or play of the night there by Trent Nichols. Tregenza kicks the ball forward. Nearly taken by King, a spectacular effort. Hacks it out of mid-air. Tregenza again. Can't break the tackle. Handball gathered by Smart from 50 metres. Nigel Smart. Can he kick his second goal? No, it hit the post. The 93 disappointment of the Crows supporters, Gerard.
Good voice there. The 93 final series showed what a player that Nigel Smart could be for the Crows at centre-half forward. We believe, courtesy of Neil Curley, that Bickley has got a few injury problems.
Smith gets under the kick in, goes well outside 50 metres, and it's forced over for a throw in about 75 to 80 metres from the Crows' goal.
Neil, are you listening? What is wrong with Bickley? Is he?
I'd say he's concussed, Bruce, with a kick in the head. He sort of doesn't quite know where he is out there. He's coming up now to be changed for Wellman.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks for that, Curls.
Boundary throw in. Capuano gets it down to Stevens. Stevens quickly towards half forward. Carey gets back, gathers the football. Campbell loves this situation. The little kick should be marked. Oh, he's dragged down. It should be a free kick anyway. It was going to be a mark to Nichols. He was dragged down, and the free kick will go to Trent Nichols, and you just about back him in, Gerard. He certainly kicked the distance. A pretty good kick for a small player.
Yes, once again, standing tall, under severe pressure. It's been a pretty important 3 or 4 minutes for North Melbourne.
What a resurrection for his career. Trent Nichols coming to North Melbourne. Great kick as a goal.
How does it happen? You're down in a mine, or painting a sign, or strain until you thought you'd burst. You sure got a thirst. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. You're leading the band, or lending a hand. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. Vic Bitter.
North have kicked the last 3 goals. They're within 4 points after trailing by 19. Tregenza, another touch for him. Goes to full forward. Wren and Modra. Wren set himself. Martin well played off the side though. Will bounce inside at 50. It's a fair result for North Melbourne. And with 3.5 minutes remaining, a goal either way here is a very big swing. Tregenza's had 10 kicks and 1 handball. If North could lead at half-time, it would be a body blow for the Crows. But another Crow goal gives them a couple of goal advantage. So important here for 3.5 minutes. Schwartz from half-back to centre wing. Allison, a juggle, couldn't quite. Tregenza again, good hands that time. McDermott round his body, couldn't look. Smith in the box seat, Hall against him. McGuinness caught, should be gone, just got rid of it. Hall fell over, little handball, didn't go far. Smart tried to get rid of a couple, couldn't. Little toe poke there by North. Pittman's hands were good. To McDermott round his body. North is standing up against the onslaught. Smith has to concede a bit of ground. McKinnon goes to ground, can't get it out. It's good footy. It's out of play in the pocket. It didn't go very far, but gee, there are a lot of footballers around the contest, all striving to get hold of it and try and do something effective with it. The Crows attacking. They lead 4-9 to 4-5.
Well, you just about guess by the evenness of the contest that there's not much statistically in it. And North Melbourne struggling to clear the ball from their full-back line. It'll come back, maybe, no. A good interception by Capuano of the Lee hand pass. Forces it over for a throw-in.
And the smothering tonight has been an absolute feature of the game.
Boundary throw-in on centre wing. Down goes Pittman, gathered by Lee. Long kick by Lee to full forward. The ball hits the ground as a free kick. Could be going to Adelaide.
Big fellow again. Got collected on the way through by Capuano.
He's missed a couple, Robbo. He's missed 2 easy ones, Ren, after kicking the first 2 goals for the Crows.
Yeah, pretty soft free kick that one, look.
Yes, it looked as though it was awarded against McKernan for the kick that punched that hit him at the back of the neck. And maybe justifiable result in the finish. Wren misses to the right and kicks his 3rd behind. He's kicked 2 goals 3 in that scoreline for Adelaide of 4 goals 10 to North Melbourne 4-5, so 14 scoring shots to 9. Don't know whether you can gather much from that. There's been tremendous pressure applied on both sides, and on a lot of occasions you'd have to say that, well, it's been that pressure that has forced the 4-10 on the scoreboard. It's forced out towards centre wing. Pittman and Capuano, the players in picture there, Wayne Schwartz, Anthony Stevens, and we'll have a boundary throw-in. Just a couple of minutes left in the first half.
Well, will North Melbourne win the flag this year? 5 teams have won the night and day flag since 77. That's 5 out of 19. So the percentages are against them, but they're one of the favourites, and they'll be right there. Schwartz gets a free kick.
And on tonight's showing, the Adelaide Crows won't be far behind them either.
The Bombers are the last to do it. The double here, Schwartz, with Connell just over the top. Schwartz playing for it, getting it. Goes to half forward. Carey swings it wide. Takes a long time to get to Campbell. McKinnon to Lee. Lee goes in short. Jarman, Laidley's been able to hold him up. Smart concedes some ground, but then goes back. Wobbles a poor-looking kick. It bounces all right for King, who'll run away. King at half-back. Gets good distance to half-forward. Oh, Carey! A beautiful mark. He went early and hung there and held it. At 80 metres, the King goes to full forward. Longmire in the front spot. Ball goes to ground, and it'll be a bounce. Oh, what a mark by Carey.
I was just about to say that North Melbourne needed a lift out of Carey. They certainly got one.
It's pretty good, Carey. He averages 8.1 marks. That was in 1994 every time he plays.
Well, that was a spectacular effort there just a few minutes ago. Roberts pushed off the ball there by McDermott. He can't clear the pack. Neither can Robert Scott. McKinnon. Well, a difficult situation. Armstrong may do something. Kicks to the front of the square. Carey forces it over with Jamison for a rush behind. And McCartney, Gerard, you feel doing a pretty good job?
I think he's done particularly well. Carey's had 11 possessions, which from centre forward is particularly good, but he just hasn't been as damaging as we know he can be, and has shown throughout the pre-season comp.
Player we saw a glimpse of there just a few minutes ago was Danilchenko, who was an emergency for this match. Of course, played in the reserves game earlier on this evening. That incidentally resulted in a win for St Kilda, 14-6 to 11-16, and Trevor Barker coaching the St Kilda reserves for his first stint at AFL coaching.
Laidley at centre wing, kicking on the left. Was injured last week. And Carey the target. So Adelaide have got a narrow lead here at half-time. They led by 5 points at quarter-time. And at half-time, the margin is back to 4. But oh, what it might have been for the Crows. They led by 19 points at one stage. Longmire's got a couple, Nichols has got 2, and Bradley Wren's got 2, but he's missed 3 pretty easy ones. Brown 1 and Smart 1. So, Gerard, this is a real line ball. It was 11-4 on and 7-4 before the go with National Sportsbook. Right now, it'll be about 5-4 on each of 2.
Yes, great signs for the Adelaide Crows, but the maturity of the North Melbourne side to hang in there under supreme pressure and then to go in at half-time only a couple of points in arrears just shows that I think we're in for an absolute blockbuster in the second half.
So at half-time, it's Adelaide by 4 points over North Melbourne. The scores are 4-6 to 4-10.
Bruce McAvaney hosts Australia's #1 sporting show, Sports World, every Sunday morning on 7.
This 7 Nightly News Update is brought to you by the new Colonial.
Hello again. A meeting of Formula One powerboat Grand Prix drivers late today has decided to go ahead with a race on the Port River on Sunday, despite the tragic death of Queensland driver David De Guara today. De Guara's speedboat slammed into a wharf during a promotional run for Sunday's event. Adelaide's weather, a fine 19 tomorrow. Good night.
Nobody knows how to live like 7.
I know how important it is to be covered in case of serious illness or accident. I see it every day. 1 in 8 people will get heart disease. 1 in 4 will get cancer. Some patients are financially crippled. I chose Colonial's top trauma cover.
It covers more illnesses than any other at highly competitive rates. For 33 illnesses, Colonial's top trauma cover will pay $100,000 for around $9 a week. Call for this brochure and ask yourself, wouldn't you be better off with Colonial?
lot of people buy small cars to get around the city. But if you buy a Ford Festiva with its fuel-injected engine, you've got an escape hatch. Ford Festiva. It's the escape hatch.
Bob Jane T-Marts roll out the red carpet for drivers of small cars with quality radials at only $47, including fitting, balancing and valves. Get the red carpet treatment with quality radials for most small cars at only $47. Bob Jane T-Marts, the most trusted name.
If you're looking for glass recycling, you'll find it in the new Green Index in your Telecom white pages. So for government and community services, first turn to green.
Never before so many savings with one home loan package.
It's much more than a home loan.
It can be a package for all your home finance needs.
We're going to save in the first year because we've got a low fixed rate.
And low application fee. Over the full term, you can save years and save thousands.
They even arranged our insurance for us.
And as part of the package, you can have a standard national credit card without the normal annual fee.
Call and ask the National about these and other savings with our tailored home loan package.
Blasting through space and time, the Starship Enterprise returns, flying the slipstream of the supernova movie hit Star Trek Generations. William Shatner, fire, Leonard Nimoy, and guest star Christopher Plummer. I shall blow you out of the stars. Boldly going where no other entertainment has gone before.
First rule of assassination, kill the assassin.
Adventure out of this world.
Somebody up there wants you out of the way.
Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, 8:30 Monday on 7.
Half-time at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Friday night football. North Melbourne a 4-6 and Adelaide 4-10. Just 4 points of difference. Been a highly entertaining first half. John Longmire's got a couple of goals. Trent Nichols a couple. And for the Crows, Wren 2 and 1 for Brown and 1 to Smart. Gee, I'm enjoying it, aren't you?
Isn't it a great game of football? Tremendous pressure all around the ground. In fact, the smothering has been just, well, the best I think I've seen for 2 quarters. It's just been tremendous, particularly from the Adelaide Crows. I thought the Crows have done particularly well getting back in defence. Now, there on that occasion, Wellman tried to duck back against the flow of play, and it's just impossible. Robbo spoke about the improvement in tackling. You see Allison doing the tackling and then resulting in a goal to John Longmire. You've just got to go with the ball and hope that somebody is in support running around. You just can't duck back, as we've seen right throughout the last couple of years. Tackling has just got too good.
Scott Lee, this is a terrific smother in the pocket.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. You just notice the way Lee came in with the trajectory of the ball. Didn't go over the top. Sean Wren showing his versatility there. And a couple of quick handballs, but then Connell wanted to do that little chip kick, which has let the Crows down over the last couple of years, and they've just got to get that one out of the game. Here, Robert Scott clears the ball, gets it to Wayne Carey. Now, Wayne Carey on that occasion, getting the ball down on the half-back line, had to go far and wide to get a kick. And that has been brought about because Corey McKernan isn't there to allow him to play that dummy centre-half forward position. And just watch that on John Longmire. He did the blind turns, but importantly, he ran straight at the goal and kicked it truly.
Mitsubishi Motors match stats to half-time.
What do you read into that, Bruce?
Pretty even.
Pretty even. I mean, it's been that sort of game. The scoreboard says it's pretty even. The stats says it's fairly even. But more importantly for the Crows, their efficiency with the ball is far, far better than it has been.
And probably important too, when North Melbourne normally have the same number of kicks as the opposition, they're normally burying them. They've had the same number of kicks as the Crows tonight, and they're trailing by 4 points, so maybe that might be some sort of an indication of how it's gone. Now, the team stats, North Melbourne firstly, Longmire, Carey, Nichols and Allison and King amongst them there, but Scott at the top there.
Yeah, well, Robert Scott, I think, has been a very good pickup for North Melbourne. They were a little bit deficient in the midfield. They picked up Scott and Armstrong. Armstrong just struggling a little bit. He was taken to the cleaners in the second quarter in particular by Chris McDermott, and they've moved Stevens onto him. I think a move that has worked to a point.
And as we keep going through that North Melbourne side, obviously some of their defenders aren't going to get the same sorts of stats. McKernan was somebody you highlighted before the game. His figures haven't been huge, but I thought he did pretty well on Wren.
He got back on top of Wren. Wren just missed that little goal. I think Oshchenko is just, well, he's not anywhere near the player he was of last week, which has meant Matthew Capuano gets a chance, but he was a dominant figure for North last week, and they're missing his drive and his dominance.
What about the Adelaide team? As we take a look through their stats, again, these stats are loaded in favour of anyone kicking goals. You get 5 points for that and 1 for other possessions. So Wren on top with his 2 goals.
Well, Chris McDermott, his possessions were very constructive. I mean, he has been over the years a big possession winner, but today with 16 possessions to half-time and doing plenty with them, he's probably best on ground at the moment. Tony McGuinness has had plenty of the football, but a lot of it has been under pressure and been forced onto his right foot. And Scott Lee, well, he's getting plenty of ball in the defence, and I think their defence has really tightened up. They're delivering the ball with so much more surety.
Now, you talked about Modra and Hall before the game. By the way, you get 3 points for a goal, not 5. Modra and Hall before the game, how important they would be?
Well, it hasn't proven that way. Sean Wren has gone down and been the contributor in front. I'm not too unhappy with Tony Modra, the way he's attacked the football. I think he's a different player than he was last week. It hasn't worked well for him. They're crowding him. It's impossible under those circumstances to get the fly, but if he continues to keep his concentration, his attitude at a premium, I think he can come out and kick goals.
Jared, we'll take a break. We'll be back with more from the MCG after this.
When you're playing the international circuit, it's always important to choose the right club. The Qantas Club.
Only Qantas gives you the comfort of your own club around Australia and the world.
Thanks. Every Network Q used car comes with a 120-point quality check and 12-month warranty, so everything runs smoothly.
I only want to be with Network Q.
Treating used cars like new.
Barbecue works. What'd you get?
Barbecue steak and onion.
Barbecue chicken pizza.
And there's chocolate fudge cake too, Mum.
Not like your barbecues, is it, Dad?
Yeah, next mate.
Nothing's on fire. At $6.95, it's down so cheaper.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Who's paying? I like my food on fire.
Smoky too.
I like it smoky.
Barbecue works. Only $4.95 for lunch or $6.95 for dinner.
When you're not working, your money should be working even harder. So talk to us about a term investment that works for you.
There's a beautiful tropical island, I'm not telling you where. The soft wind is blowing, it's perfect for growing a certain kind of coconut there. It's moistened by the mist, sweetened by the sun, it's a California coconut. There's only one thing to top it, Bounty's chocolate.
Bounty, the taste of paradise. More people around the world use HP printers to communicate simply because they work. HP printers, the way the world prints.
Bob Jane T-Marts roll out the red carpet for drivers of small cars with quality radials at only $47, including fitting, balancing and valves. Get the red carpet treatment with quality radials for most small cars at only $47. Bob Jane T-Marts, the most trusted name.
I think I can.
At Mitre 10, we can help you with all the tools, materials, advice and free Mitre plans you need. So you can get the job done right every time. Yes, you can with Mitre 10.
See, the Crows kicked 2-7 in that term, inaccurate kicking against 3 goals 2, and they lead at half-time by 4 goals 10 to 4 goals 6. Welcome back to the Melbourne Cricket Ground, Gerard, as we take a look at a match summary stats, slightly different to what we had last year, and run us through the key elements here.
Well, I think one of the big innovations when they come up on screen is the possessions inside 50. Now you see that the Adelaide Crows are well on top there, so they've had plenty of control of the football, but they're just failing in their goal efficiency, which we've worked out a formula, and that's worked out at 28%. So once again, the forward line just letting them down a little bit, but by golly, they're doing a hell of a lot better throughout the ground, around the ground, and particularly in defence. Even the hit-outs there, the centre hit-outs for North Melbourne, well, they're getting 1 out of 2, so they've cleared the ball. They've got the ball twice out of the 4 times that their ruckman has touched the ball first, whereas Adelaide Crows a little bit more efficient there. Pittman doing quite well, getting his hand on the ball, and the Adelaide Crows clearing it quite well. 6-4 in centre breaks.
So the big dipper and Neil Curley down on the boundary line, what do you make of that? The Crows 8 more times inside the 50-metre area, yet only lead by 4 points.
Well, that's a kicking statistic, because you've had Wren who's got 2 goals to his credit at this stage, but could have 5, because the 3 shots he's missed haven't been difficult, and so have some of the others. But that's not where the game's going to be won. The game's going to be won around the ground, and you've got the 3 Crows players who are standing out of their hard-nosed players in McDermott, Lee and Rashudo. They're really winning the hard ball and creating those opportunities further afield.
And really one player for North Melbourne showed a lot of leadership. He's taken them on, Cool. Just said, come on, guys, I'm here to be taken on. That is Swat. He's been all over the ground. He's using a lot of his pace tonight and trying to create opportunities up forward. And also David King, I think, has been doing quite well with his pace. Interesting the bench, because Clayton normally uses the bench just to match players, but tonight's only been used for injuries.
Yeah, and on the bench, of course, this is where the North Melbourne side could have an advantage, because I think you've got 2 players with the Crows now in Powell and Bickley that I don't think will take any further part in the game. Powell may be able to come on if needed, because he won't be able to see too good, because one eye is definitely closed right up. Another big plus for the Crows tonight is Pittman. I think Pittman, his effort on the ball, particularly in contesting the ruck at the centre, has been very, very good, and this has resulted in a lot of centre clearances for the Crows, and that, of course, allowing Wren up high, up forward, where they've had to place McKernan, who is normally a good attacking player, back in defence.
It's a flip of a coin at the moment. It is a top game down here.
Thanks for that, Dipper, and Neil Curley. So not a lot. Neil Curley's putting a lot of faith in the Crows and McDermott and Lee and Rashudo. So it could go either way at this stage, obviously.
Exactly.
Okay, just 4 points of difference to the MCG. Back with the second half after this.
Rugby union at its best. The final of the Super 10. Coming your way on 7. Check your guides for telecast times.
I think I can.
At Mitre 10, we can help you with all the tools, materials, advice, and free Mitre plans you need. So you can get the job done right every time. Yes, you can, with Mitre 10.
Southern comfort, the heart, the soul, the spirit.
This is an important announcement. From $26,990, test drive the Subaru Liberty. Wheels Magazine Car of the Year at your nearest Subaru dealer.
Bob Jane T-Marts roll out the red carpet for drivers of small cars with quality radials at only $47, including fitting, balancing and valves. Get the red carpet treatment with quality radials for most small cars at only $47. Bob Jane T-Marts, the most trusted name.
Mate, you want to call your dog off?
What's the problem?
I think he wants with Farmer's Union iced coffee.
I'd put it down quick if I were you.
Yeah, you're right.
Buy the new digital freestyle from Optus, and you could enjoy 1 hour of free local calls on weekends.
Hi, yeah, I've got the ticket.
That's right. Free local calls on weekends. Of course, there are other ways to get in touch for free. But only Optus Freestyle gives you free weekend local calls.
Budget's Wheel and Deal Month is on now. And if you rent any car or small truck from the Budget fleet for 7 days, you'll only have to pay for 5. Now that's something to smile about. Budget's Wheel and Deal Month is on now.
Southern comfort, the heart, the soul, the spirit.
Life's like that when you can get a new Mitsubishi Lancer Coupe for only $17,559.
Welcome back to the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Just after half-time, the Crows lead by 4 points.
We've got Brett Chalmers on screen, Neil Curley, and I'm just wondering whether you thought he was a little bit hard done by being dragged off the ground.
Yeah, Longmire had got away on a couple, but I thought young Chalmers was playing pretty well. Obviously, Rob thought he may want a bit better balance there, perhaps a touch more experience. I don't know the situation, but they've made the move, so we'll wait and see.
Further to what you said, I know the game is often won in midfield, but the Crows have got to kick a winning score. Now, Sean Wren, you don't feel it's time that he perhaps went into the middle of the ground? Do you think he's perhaps having a negative influence on both Modra and Hall, even though he could possibly have kicked 4 or 5 goals?
Well, I don't think Wren could do any better than Pittman at this stage on the ball. I think Pittman's doing a very good job there. And I think Wren does give them a tremendous option up forward, and does, of course, make Pagan change his game plan a bit with McKernan. So I think the ploy's working pretty well, and if Wren had it kicked accurately, well, you're looking at 5 goals in a half a footy. That's pretty good value.
Well, Neely's gone right back to full forward as we speak, Wren, and Modra's at half forward right at the moment.
Well, things are working.
Still coaching the Crows there, Curly.
4-10 to 4-6. Start of the second half of the Melbourne Cricket Ground on Friday night footy. An exciting first half, low scoring. Pittman to go against the Sheko back on the ground. Pittman did win the tap, had to get it back towards Rashudo. Good tackle, Stevens. McKinnon over the top. And just repeating, the Crows led by 19 minutes at the 19-minute mark of the second quarter, and North Melbourne kicked 3 goals late in the term. They were 19 points in front, 19 minutes into the second term. Stevens. Free kick to Pittman, who has been very, very good.
Tony Modra well up the ground, playing up at centre half forward.
Pittman's kick in that direction. Hall in the front spot, he's good at that. If you give him a run, he's a sticky finger. Started with Glenelg in South Australia, then at Hawthorn, and in his second season at the Crows goes towards Wren. Well played at the back, McKernan. Then McKernan just got it away from Smart. Well done. Connell, who was good in the second term. Smart, who got into the game late in the second quarter. Handball by Blakey, finds the boundary line out of play.
Clearly, Robert Shaw wants to get Wren in a one-on-one battle with Corey McKernan. He's pushed both Hall and Modra well up the ground. Perhaps that'll help in Modra losing with Mickey Martin.
Well played, Schwartz, because Connor was in the box seat. Schwartz was able to rip it away. Wobbles a punt kick up towards centre wing. Carey gets a free kick. They dumped him there. It was McCartney against him. And the North Melbourne captain from the centre.
Once again, getting a possession deep in defence for North Melbourne.
Carey's kick to perhaps where he usually takes his place at centre half forward. McKinnon's hand pass only as far as Nichols. Nichols from pretty much a standing start, but a good mark taken by Rashudo going back to the flight of the ball. Mark Rashudo, he kicked quickly to right half back, and the mark taken there for the Crows by Connell. Matthew Connell, the ex-West Coast Eagles player. Modra falling. Schwartz keeps his footing and then kicks in towards full forward. in the direction of Longmire. High, couldn't take the mark. Ball rebounds now for McDermott. Slips the hand pass out to Tregenza. Tregenza's got McGuinness running in support. McGuinness is near the centre of the ground. He kicks towards half forward. Inside 50 metres, a great mark taken by Smart in front of a pack of 3 or 4 players. Nigel Smart would be within scoring distance, I would consider. He's already kicked 1 goal. Nigel Smart now, interesting statistic. He's kicked 8.3 goals in Melbourne, and you saw the statistic in Adelaide. He's kicked another goal in Melbourne.
So Smart's got a couple. 4-6 to 5-10. Crows stretch it out to 10 points.
Tony McGuinness getting onto that damaging left foot that he possesses, and well, it wasn't a pinpoint pass, but Smart showing endless ability. We know that I think he's just an untapped resource still, despite being a dual All-Australian.
So the Crows just average 8 goals in a little bit at the Melbourne matches and over 12 at Footy Park. They haven't won, well, they've won 1 game in their last 17 in Victoria, the Crows. It's 5-10 to 4-6. They lead North Melbourne, the second favourites for the flag, by 10 points. Tregenza out of the centre square, a wobbly old one. Hall goes to attack it, Brown's with it, drop the footy, Jarman over the top of it, Lazy, well played. They grab hold of him, Jarman's there with Blakey. North Melbourne, as they've done so effectively throughout the night, hold it up. So it's not an impressive status at 8.3 goals in Victoria, the Crows. And remembering, as I said earlier, just 2 wins in the last 2 seasons here, one of them in a big final against Hawthorn.
I think significant is their attack on the football as distinct from last year. This is Stevens from right half back for North Melbourne. His kick high towards the wing. Carey couldn't take the mark. Pittman and McKinnon. Taken by McDermott. Decides on the hand pass again. Tregenza on the end of it. Kicks with his right foot in towards the centre half forward position. Nearly another mark taken by Nigel Smart. Craig Scholl gets it to Nichols. Nichols, a pretty good deliverer of the football. This is no exception. Allison couldn't quite take the mark. North Melbourne fans scream, as does Gerard Healy. Thought it was a mark. The Crows go forward towards half forward. Blakey dragged off the football. The umpire decides this is a free kick to North Melbourne, and it'll go back to their ever reliable defender, John Blakey. He's inside the Crows' 50-metre area. He kicks out towards the wing. The mark taken by Matthew Armstrong. Armstrong looked in all sorts of trouble last week with a bad knee, but fortunate for North Melbourne, he's here tonight and playing. Another free kick to North Melbourne. Free kicks are 8 to Adelaide, 12 to North Melbourne. The kick in towards full forward. Longmire couldn't take the mark. The ball knocked away by Jamison close to the line, and it goes over for a throw in about 50 metres from the North Melbourne goal. Jamison looks as though he's put on a bit of bulk there over the summer too. Jinko and Pittman doing the ruck work. Pittman gets his right fist to it. Kick forward by Stevens to the front of the goals. Great mark, Longmire. Good contest between 2 players, but Longmire winning in the strength department and taking a terrific mark for North Melbourne right in front, 20 metres out.
Good sharp kick there by Anthony Stevens, I think it was, and in front John Longmire. Just too strong on that occasion for Brett Chalmers.
Longmire's kick 2, important kick for goal for North. Very bad miss.
Staggered at that one.
Important that players convert from those chances straight in front and within 30 metres.
Although if we get a chance, I might just like to ask Neil Curley, with Modra up on the half-forward line, perhaps he'd be better off on the bench. Hasn't shown a great liking for playing further up the ground.
Well, I'm sure we can get through to Neil as the time progresses. The Crows get the ball out of defence, up towards the wing area. Kicked off the ground by Schwass. Stevens, spirited player Anthony Stevens. That kick off the side of his boot, that should have been a free kick, shouldn't it? Yes, it is. Jumping too high with the North Melbourne player, and the free kick to go to Connell. Doing pretty well, Matthew Connell.
2 centre half forward. Modra goes early, one hand, goes to Brown. Brown tries to get it forward, doesn't really succeed. Scholl under pressure from Pittman. McGuinness, this should suit him. At 50, swings it back to the goal square. Jarman, juggle, Wren off the ground. It's a North Melbourne kick. It's a behind. Is it a free kick? Yes, against Wren. No score there, and McKernan will get it. So McKernan's free kick, no score. Adelaide lead 5-10 to 4-7. Gee, aren't goals hard to get here? It makes it very exciting every time anyone scores. McKernan's kicked the centre half back. Rock attacked it strongly. Found the football. Finds a little bit of space. Carey the target. McCartney and Carey. Good mark by the North Melbourne captain. He usually thumps the ball long. That gives Longmire a chance. Well done, Chalmers. Taken by Nichols, high tackle. Play on call. No advantage. North Melbourne might be disadvantaged by all of this. Kluzek's quick kick. Here's Modra and also Martin. Important ball to be won. Hall's got it. Should do something constructive. Goes short. Not good. Smart. Now Smart again. Under pressure. Scholl was all over him. No free kick. Crows might turn this over. It'll be a bad miss this. Blakey's got it. Sidesteps. Goes wide. McKinnon's got to get underneath. No. Bouncing ball. Tregenza with a chance. Handball to McKinnon was outstanding. McKinnon with one bounce. McKinnon at 80 metres. Wobbles one to Jarman. He's got it. And he'll goal. And he does.
Next week, how to feed a family of 4 for less than $10 a day.
It was a challenging task, and I had to actually shop around to get the best value for money.
It's easier than you think.
This is what every family wants. Meals that are nutritious, filling and very inexpensive.
And we tell you how to predict the weather for the next 3 months. What's in store for Easter? Plus, so you want to be a model.
Yeah, it's great fun.
Today, tonight, 6:30 weeknights on 7.
6-10 plays 4-7. Adelaide lead. 15 points. North clear the ball from the centre, but it's McKinnon and Nichols. McKinnon does well. Nichols chases hard. Then affects the tackle, but a good mark taken by Tony Hall. Starting to get into the play. He's wide at left half forward. He's kicked towards full forward. Punched away by McKernan. Sitting underneath it is Stevens. Tackled a little high, was it? Yes. And a free kick to Anthony Stevens. And ball Laidley. Laidley's kick is a bit risky across the face of goal. Gathered by Modra. Slick handball Jarman. Back to Rashudo. Kicks beautifully on the run. This time he's offline and registers one behind for the Crows.
There's the bench for the Adelaide Crows, and just looking for another option. Obviously with Powell injured, they perhaps haven't got a regular half-forward flanker. Maybe Bickley's the man, but we believe he's also concussed. So limited opportunities and options there for Robert Shaw with his bench. The point I'm trying to make is with Tony Modra, he's not a classical half-forward flank. Perhaps he could just shuffle that side around a little bit to get more out of it.
I'll tell you what, the 18 out there at the moment aren't doing a bad job, Jared. 6-11 to 4-7. Jarman in front, punched away. Balls for Scholl. Scholl's kick out towards the wing. Carey in front. Didn't take the mark. Free kick. Advantage paid to North Melbourne. Anthony Rock goes down the ground to half forward. The ball spills. Chance here for Nichols. Knocked forward by McKinnon. Unfairly, says the umpire, and Nichols will take the free kick. And again, it has to be a real chance to score. McKinnon back on the mark, so Nichols takes advantage and punts it through for a North Melbourne goal. He's kicked 3.
Allow us to highlight a few of the Mitsubishi Verada's features. The Mitsubishi Verada V6 Xi.
6-11 to 5-7. Nichols with 3 goals. Connell out of the centre. He's been good, but the kick not so good. McKernan takes a brave mark at centre half back. McKernan wide. Jarman couldn't get a run at it. Well played by Blakey. Armstrong away. Not big stats for Armstrong tonight. Out wide, Tregenza, good mark. He's been very, very good, Tregenza.
16 possessions, Bruce.
And his handball to McKinnon a moment ago was fantastic. Rashudo at centre wing. Oh, good grab by Wren. Handball to Hall. Hall left foot. Jarman, half volley. Left foot round the body.
misses. Oh, should have goal. Really should have goal. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets dragged off the ground for that. He should have kicked that goal.
Yes, but the positive for the Adelaide Crows is that I think forward pocket is an absolute Monty for Andrew Jarman. He could kick 40 or 50 goals down there and would really add another string to his bow and allow perhaps him and McDermott to play on the one side successfully.
Laidley from half-back, Capuano, Ashenko's off the ground for North Melbourne. Pittman will try and paddle it to McDermott. McDermott to Kluzak. Now Kluzak's got some options. Jarman is the pocket, got him.
He's so talented in a one-on-one position. If the ball is given to him, pretty good move this bloke, Robert Shaw.
Well, he's highly skilled and he's tucked away in the pocket.
And twice he's beaten Blakey just with use of the body.
An important kick like they all are, but Jarman with his high skills, you give him a real chance from here. And if he's going to make a go at the forward pocket, Jared, he's going to have to kick a few of these over the years. They're tough, I know. Going to try the banana. Oh, it's all right. The old check side, it's a goal. No substitute for skill. 7-12 to 5-7. It's a handy break again for the Crows. They're out to 17 points.
Well, a banana kick from about 35 metres. Pretty important kick that was.
Surely the important thing, Gerard, for the Crows is that each time North Melbourne make a charge at them, they're able to steady and kick an answering goal fairly quickly.
Yes, they've been pretty good at that all night, Robert.
So Andrew Jarman, with his second goal, makes the margin again 17 points. They force the ball towards their half-forward line, the Crows. McGuinness caught, but he got his left foot to it. Modra, slippery little hand pass. Brown may goal from here. David Brown goes for goal. Off to the left. And through for one behind.
Jared, just in Modra's defence, a couple of his handballs in the last 2 or 3 minutes have been terrific.
Been good. Ken Reynolds coming off the ground for Warren Campbell.
Ross Smith's kick in, finds Martin. Over the top, Stevens. Down the ground, Campbell. Drops what he should have taken, but he's got plenty of time to recover, and then thumps it high. Blindly towards half-forward. Where are the Crummers? No, a free kick is going to be paid. It'll go to North Melbourne. It's taken by Capuano. Now, my recollection of this boy's ability with the football would be that he's a fair kick, Bruce.
And a very long kick.
Well, he's going back with obviously the idea of kicking the distance. He's going to have to kick it 50 metres plus to score. It's not a bad kick. May not carry the players in the square, and it's helped over for a rush behind to North Melbourne by the Crows' defence.
Huge leap for the punch. What do you think about Tony Modra, Neil?
Oh, look, don't write Modra off on a half-forward flank. He's a very, very clever, skillful player, and he'll create some opportunities out there.
Well, he's done that a couple of occasions the last couple of minutes.
And you also have to remember that they're a bit limited on the bench, Crows.
Well, they're doing a pretty good job with the 18 on the ground at this stage, Curl.
Short kick round the body there by Kluzak. And Campbell out of play at half-back for the Crows. So Adelaide lead at 7-13 to 5-8. North Melbourne with 8 free kicks to 2. Nichols getting a goal from one of them. Centre wing, Pittman, Lee. Tries to break the tackle, can't. Keeps the ball in play. Campbell, McGuinness. McGuinness rode it well. Oh, very good handball. Brown took one step too long. Schwass a great tackler. Smart did beautifully. Superbly to give Connell the run. Connell on the up, the handball. McGuinness should goal. He stood straighten up and kick it. He's wobbled it. It's hit the post. Just wanted to run laterally, didn't he? He didn't want to run straight up and put himself under pressure, then got off balance and had to straighten up and hits the post. So the Crows are at 7-14 to 5-8.
I think now, Robbo, the scoreboard with the amount of shots at goal is starting to reflect the story.
Kernan, unopposed I should say, at half-back to centre wing. Carey his target. McCartney at the back. Well played, Carey. He's playing a very good game. Neat kick as always to Longmire. Good stretch from Chalmers. Kluzak's got to try and get back. He's got some ground on Scott. Chalmers runs across in front of Scott. Kluzek, important ball. McDermott stood his ground. Rock came in hard. That'll hurt McDermott. He'll pick himself up though. And it's out of play. Laidley on the bench.
Yes, it's 21 scoring shots now to 13, and whilst Carey's winning the ball pretty easily at times, Bruce, they're all up on that centre wing or half-back line.
65 metres it is from North Melbourne's goal. McDermott clears for the Crows, back towards the wing. Well done by Stevens. Chipping in Allison. Advantage may be paid. It's Scholl to kick the ball to the 50-metre line. North Melbourne mark. Capuano, move it quickly. Surely from his last kick at goal he realised that he's too far out. This ball will land in the square. At the back, Kluzek will mop up. Just inside the line, eventually helped over by Robert Scott, putting some pressure on Kluzek. And a boundary thrown will take place. Dean Laidley on the bench for North Melbourne. Adelaide lead by 18 points. 6.5 minutes left in the third term. King kicks quickly across the face of goal. Bumped through there by Chalmers on John Longmire for another rush behind to North Melbourne. That's their fourth so far in their scoreline of 5-9. Adelaide 7-14, 17 points again, the margin.
Chalmers short, gets to Brown at centre half back. Crows have gone from 4-10 at half time, so they've kicked 3-4, and North have kicked 1-3. The kick to centre wing. Big stretch up there by Capuano. Play on call. Looked as if he held it. What's the situation with Dean Laidley? Dipper, is he injured?
Well, Bruce, of course he didn't play last week because of a very heavy cork thigh, and once again in the last tackle got hit on it.
Thanks for that, Rashudo. Schwash with a hip and shoulder. Connell and also Stevens out of play. Remember last week when Armstrong kicked this freak goal in the forward pocket to lift North Melbourne. It was a mighty moment in that Ansett Cup after he'd been injured, and they need something like this at the moment, you reckon, the Kangaroos? Just a big lift. That flashback from last Saturday night. Armstrong stats tonight, 8 kicks, 4 handballs, no goals. Roberts from centre wing, a high ball.
And a little bit more from players like Mark Roberts too, Bruce. The probably second 6 picked in the North Melbourne side, maybe not coming up.
He spent a fair bit of time on the bench tonight, Robert.
Well, he's a goal-kicking player, isn't he?
He is. Adelaide just dominating that centre clearances.
Roberts there trying to clear the ball from that congestion. Unsuccessful, the umpire calls for a bounce.
Crows are just trying to effect a change. You're just waiting for the timing to be right. Wellman's going to come onto the ground with David Pittman.
Capuano gets a quick kick to it. Well, good strong play by Armstrong. He's into it again. Couldn't clear the ball. Umpire will call for another bounce. North Melbourne fans who outnumber their Adelaide counterparts probably 10-1 in this crowd.
Sean Wren is now up onto the ball, having a bit of a run.
Free kicks, 18 to North Melbourne, 9 to Adelaide. Up high Roberts. McDermott tackled by Rock. Ball spills for Jamison. Gets a kick back towards the centre of the ground. Stevens on McGuinness. They've had a fantastic contest all night. Good mark, Allison.
Great use of the body there by Allison.
Plays on. The thumping kick to the square. Longmire couldn't take the mark. It'll be taken over by Kluzek for another rush behind the North.
I wonder how long it'll be before Dennis Pagan whips Corey McKernan back to the forward line, because his absence up there has really put enormous pressure on Carey. He's moving well up the ground. I think it just undermines once again the importance of the young 23-gamer for North Melbourne's quest for a throw.
Schwass lets it run out, so he'll get the kick because no one touched it from the kick in. Keenan Reynolds about to come on, and maybe McKernan will go up forward because he's standing Wellman at the moment and not Wren. Schwass, good kick back towards the square. Oh, Carey launched himself and took a spectacular grab.
That's where you wanted to mark him, within goal kicking range.
And he just has to capitalise now.
Yes, it is important. Longmire missed one from about the same spot early in the piece.
So did Carey, Gerard, in his first shot at goal tonight. He grimaced quite a bit after he took the mark. He's going to kick from about 30 metres out. Big, important kick. He's got it.
What sort of bank makes a personal loan application as simple as a phone call? Adelaide Bank. I rang and asked for $10,000. Yes? Uh-huh. Tomorrow. Okay. Bye then. What sort of bank gives quick answers on personal loans over the phone? Adelaide Bank. Your sort of bank.
Campbell on the bench for North Melbourne. He's been chopped and changed a fair bit during the evening. Crows will go forward once again. Connell's quick kick to the 50-metre line. The ball spills Modra off the ground. It could be a free kick to Reynolds. A little bit too fierce there was Tony Hall in his attempt to spoil Keenan Reynolds. And Reynolds has it between left back pocket and left half back. High kick out towards the wing. Good mark taken by McKernan. Getting into the play. Off to Stevens. His kick has been well marked by McKinnon. McKinnon in the centre of the ground. Plays on. The kick is touched off the boot. Chalmers. Tackled by King. Able to get the hand pass. McKinnon a very, very critical fumble. The ball spills for Armstrong. He goes after it again. Gets the handball back. In trouble Blakey. Pressure applied by Tregenza. The ball goes over on the full. Free kick to Adelaide, and it should be taken by Tregenza, and it will go back to that player. He's right in front of where the players enter the arena here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. The short kick has been marked by Wellman. Wellman is about 60 metres from goal. He'll put the ball to within scoring distance for Adelaide. Into the pocket, punched away by Reynolds, over for a throw-in.
2 minutes remaining. Shaw versus Pagan, that's their record. That's Shaw at Fitzroy, and Pagan at North Melbourne, 3-1 in favour of Pagan. Reynolds, well done. Mickey Martin took a while. Connell couldn't quite. Gee, free kick surely there to Schwass. He was on the end of one there. At centre half back, if North can get another goal before three-quarter time, we're back to the margin it was at half time. So all that good work for the Crows will be undone. An important moment now. Kluzek, handball goes back. Gets to Rashudo. Rashudo towards the 50. Oh, good mark by Reynolds. And Reynolds coming onto the ground has enabled McKernan, as Gerard Healy suggested, to go forward and give North Melbourne a bit more strike power there to support Carey. Rashudo attacks it hard with Stevens out of play. 7-14 to 6-10. Here's the man who took North Melbourne to that Ansett Australia Cup victory last week. And this is the first of about 180 games in the Coca-Cola Premiership season. Armstrong caught up, and again it'll be a bounce at centre wing.
Keenan Reynolds is an interesting one. On one performance last year, he built this reputation as a goal kicker, but in fact he's, I think only kicked 11 goals in the season last year.
Guess can play at either end. McKernan, free kick against McKernan, and that one going to Jamison on the wing. Now Hall to provide a lead. Modra very wide at half forward. Jamison goes back, measures it. Smart, Wellman the target. Smart's got it. Paid. He had a fair grip of it. Going to kick from about 50 with well inside the last minute. And a Crow goal out of this would be damaging for North. Wellman's going to go short. Smart might fancy himself. No, goes very short. Now Rashudo's a long kick. He's a good option, Rashudo, from 55 or 50. Should have a shot. 30 seconds remaining. Can make the distance. Normally his trademark is that he kicks the ball low and he kicks it strongly with a drop punt. He just wants to make sure that he knows where the mark is. Doesn't normally get a lot of height on his kicks, but he punches it hard and low. Let's see how he goes. Well, that one he gets underneath, completely the opposite. Must have heard me. Goes there. Martin thumps it away. Jarman after it. Oh, kick in danger against North Melbourne to Andrew Jarman. And the siren's going to go in a second. Watch this one. Jarman underneath it. And King really didn't have much chance. I didn't think to do much else.
I think if a player's going to dive on the ball, or dive on a fellow's boot, he's got to accept the circumstances. And King himself has come up with an injury. A whack across the shins. it wasn't a vicious kick. And the rule isn't, the rule I think, from memory, is that a free kick to be awarded, it has to be, the kick has to look like it's going to cause injury. That it's done, but it wasn't through the maliciousness of the kick, more to do with the dive of Jarman.
King's in as much trouble as Jarman here. King was going for the footy, wasn't he? And Jarman got underneath him. So a fortunate free kick here. He's in trouble though, Jarman. He probably won't be able to take the kick. And they've given it to McGuinness. Tucked away on the wrong side for him. Point was made last week in the final that he doesn't kick as many goals these days. Just 26 goals in his last 44 matches for the Rovers, so he averages about a half a goal a game as poor Jarman's going to come off. So what was it, maybe a fortunate free kick, is a very unfortunate incident.
Well, you wouldn't consider that McGuinness is in his favourite position with his left foot to the boundary line, whereas Andrew Jarman, in the same situation there, kicking with his right foot, certainly would have been an opportunity there for the Crows.
And this is shocking luck for Jarman.
I think the good news though, Bruce, I think he's coming off with a blood rule rather than a knee. Well, hopefully that is the case.
Well, they are carrying him off though.
Got to be a fair bit of blood. Exactly. It's a shocking wound, but there is blood just starting to creep through there. It may just be a deep gash, but in the context of a low-scoring game, this well could be a match-winning kick.
So they replay again with the Jarman-King incident.
I think I'll go for a gash on the thigh.
Well, what a big kick now. There are 7 minutes to go, 7 seconds to go on the clock. The Crows lead 7 goals, 14 to 6-10. McGuinness doesn't know we're down to 7 seconds. But this will be the last play in the third quarter. He does know right now what it's about. Well, the captain has been given the spotlight. It's right on him. From 40 metres in the pocket. Well, he's going to be disappointed when he goes to the huddle, the captain. North Melbourne will be pretty pleased with that. 6 goals, 10 to 7-14, and the margin is just 10 points. And when you consider all the work the Crows appeared to do, Gerard, in that quarter, they're only a goal further advanced than they were at half-time.
Yes, it was a bit of an ordinary miss from Tony McGuinness, but sometimes players just get a little bit too long to think about it. You're often better just getting the snap goal. But once again, North Melbourne showing what a good side they are by hanging on, even though they're not playing well.
I just wonder about the Crows' option here. If Bickley's concussed, Powell can't come on. Jarman looks no hope of coming on. They're down to about 18 men, I would think, at the moment, as Dennis Pagan's about to come down. OK, three-quarter time at 7-14 to 6-10.
What a trio. Malcolm Blunt, Mike Sheehan and Bruce McAvaney. Talking footy. Every Monday night on 7.
At Mitre 10, we can help you with all the tools, materials, advice and free Mitre plans you need. So you can get the job done right every time. Yes, you can with Mitre 10.
Bob Jane T-Marts roll out the red carpet for drivers of small cars with quality radials at only $47, including fitting, balancing and valves. Get the red carpet treatment with quality radials for most small cars at only $47. Bob Jane T-Marts, the most trusted name.
Telecom 0011 international calls departing Australia to these destinations all weekend will help you save on their normal peak rates.
None of these features on the 1995 ES300 are optional extras. You'll just have to settle for the best of everything. Take a test drive. You probably won't want to return it.
There's a beautiful tropical island. I'm not telling you where. The soft wind is blowing. It's perfect for growing a certain kind of coconut there. It's moistened by the mist, sweetened by the sun. It's a California coconut. There's only one thing to top it. Bounty's chocolate.
Bounty, the taste of paradise.
Give me a burger with flame grilled beef, fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and cheese, all topped with a special sauce. Seasoned crisscross fries on the side, and a regular size Coca-Cola. Thank you.
Sounds like you're after the Hungry Jack's Texas Combo Meal, sir.
That's right.
The $4.25 Texas Combo Meal. Only for a limited time and only at Hungry Jack's.
Oh, taste me back to Texas. For Hungry Jack's.
How does it happen? You're painting a sign or digging a mine, and you strain till you think that you'll burst. You sure got a thirst. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. You're leading a band or shoveling sand. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. Vic Bitter.
Bo's really come to the party with his big birthday sale. Look, best-selling Dunlop Grand Prix down to $95. Save $26 on Dunlop light truck tyres. And hard-wearing steel radials, just $49. But they're selling fast, so you better hurry. We need some reinforcements, though. They're on the way, Bo. They're on the way.
Bo's big birthday sale. Call 132381 for your nearest Bo Repairs store.
3/4 the Crows in that term. 2 goals for the North at 7-14 to 6-10. Nichols has got 3 for North Melbourne, and Wren and Smart have got a couple each for the Crows, and I should go back and say that Longmire's got 2. Look at Adelaide in a close-knit group there at 3/4 time under Robert Shaw. Dean Laidley coming back. Now the third quarter, as we have a look at the summary, Gerard, and see that for ball control that North Melbourne had slightly more of it than Adelaide. They had the ball under control for 9 minutes compared with 8.2.
Yes, pretty even though right throughout. Just looking at the centre hit-outs, interesting that the Crows ruckman hit it 3 times, but they didn't clear it on any occasion. And also with the North Melbourne centre breaks just in favour of North Melbourne. And once again, North Melbourne having less of the football inside their 50-metre zone.
Dipper, I just wonder if you could ask Neil, is Jarman out of business to lead the Crows down to 18?
No, certainly not. He's having stitches in the leg where the spring took him across the side, but he seems he'll be okay to come back on. He may not be 100%, but he'll be able to move.
What about Laidley, Dipper, from your point of view?
No, I don't think he'll be back on the ground because of that corked thigh. And talking about Jum, he's saying, "Don't worry, Curls, I'm coming back on. Don't worry."
Yeah, he wants to play, and he will play. A lot of character, but gee whiz, this is going to be a big first 10 minutes, this one.
Will the Crows win, Curls?
Yeah, they're in a position to win, but they have to go on with it.
Start of the final term on Friday Night Football. 7-14 to 6-10, the Crows by 10 points. Pittman goes, wins it, Schwass gets the ball, kicks the ball back to centre half forward, McKinnon running back. Lee with a chance, goes off the ground, wants it to bounce at will and run out of play. About 60 metres away from the goal.
Was Neil sitting on the fence there, you think, brother? Yes, it was interesting, wasn't it? It was a political statement, really. Jarman preparing there to obviously come back onto the ground, which is a terrific sign.
Well, that's interesting. North Melbourne are 0 from 9 when they trail at 3/4 time. So they're in that position at the moment. The Crows have won 85% of games when they've been in front at 3/4 time. That from last year.
Well, that was a critical play there where North Melbourne were able to hold the Crows up at left half back. Mark Roberts not quite being able to gather the ball, but at least it's still in North Melbourne's forward half. First goal of this last term, quite critical, and the Crows being penalised there. Pittman from shepherding, the ball finishes with Schwass. His kick in towards full forward, and a free kick will go to Jamison. Maybe the advantage rule here. Going back was Powell to McCartney. Oh, loose ball out here. Player leading in the race there is Rock, you'll gather. Handball over the top, Blakey. May go back to Rock. Gets past Wellman and then kicks high in towards half forward. Mark not taken. Ball spills for Rashudo. Gives the third player in line, Powell, a chance to receive the hand pass. His kick goes wide. Out there in front of his ball. Connell it was rather. Powell, of course, with an eye injury on the bench.
and that kick out on the full. So the free kick will be taken for North Melbourne by Blakey.
Centre wing. North into attack at half-forward. They've got some big guns up forward. McKernan, one of them with Carey. And paddled over the line and out of play by Capuano. So their big tools are out there now.
And a bit of an imbalance in height at full forward for the opposition. Plot the team in Wren standing Keenan Reynolds. There's probably a 10-centimetre difference there.
Pittman probably won the tap. Carey, Rashudo, McDermott, Kluzak. Schwartz to put the pressure on. Kluzak's kick to centre wing. Hall and Capuano both kept their eyes on it. Good contest. Brown has to go inside. McKinnon didn't get a really favourable bounce. Hall fumbled. Pretty important here that don't make mistakes. 2 grabs will be costly. Connell's kicked back towards Smart. Played it well. Played it very well, Smart. Gave his runners a chance. Reynolds came out, gave a little give to Blakey. North can counter-attack. Or Lee could have marked it in the end. Back in the direction of Hall. Quick hands to Wellman. Smothered. Good play by North Melbourne at the back. Now Scott can't break the tackle. Handball to Capuano. Takes a while to paddle it. Goes to Brown. Brown to Lee. Lee at 60 metres. Centering kick. Might get caught behind as he's been done a fair bit lately. Martin gets it. Goes across to Reynolds. Reynolds at half-back. Good kick to Allison.
Well, it's important now that the kick's in the open. And they can take advantage of them. Allison there pinpoints Nichols. Nichols has got the chance. He goes towards half-forward proper. And the mark is taken by Carey. And this is an important kick for North in the context that the game is there to win.
And the Crows coming into the forward line just have to get the ball to Sean Wren, and he has to hold the marks because once it's hit the ground, the 2 occasions, Keenan Reynolds has run away from him.
Carey going for his second goal. The crowd like it. As it's been touched on the line, it's a goal.
6:30 Sunday, Nitpicking Monkeys. Find out what cat best suits your lifestyle. And pet care tips on Talk to the Animals with Dr. Harry. And at 7:30, the Toolman multiplies.
Tool Dad, Tool Son.
Tim Allen on award-winning home improvement. Then at 8 o'clock, never work with kids or animals. We're busted! Better still, why not adopt them on the world's greatest commercials? Discover the fun, Sunday on Channel 7.
Well, the bounce favoured North Melbourne. Robert Scott kicks it towards half-forward. Carey again. Little tap taken by Chalmers. Kicks across the full-back line. Bounces quite nicely in the finish for Lee. Yeah. North Melbourne player down behind play, Allison. McKinnon gets past a little too easily, Capuano. Kicks towards half-forward. Mark taken by Smart. Looks to play on. Does so. Lovely hand pass. Centre half-forward, Connell. Connell goes for goal for the Crows, and he's kicked a goal. Matt Connell kicks his first goal, and the Crows answer that Carey goal. They're now 8-14 to 7-10. The difference is back to 10 points in favour of Adelaide.
Now, fine piece of play from the Adelaide Crows. Great transition from deep in their defence, coming through Nigel Smart, getting him onto a loose man, Connell, who had done a lot of unselfish running to make himself available, and he sealed it beautifully.
Crows stretch it out again to 10 points. That's their first goal since the 13-minute mark of the third quarter when Jarman goal from the pocket. Carey's kicked the last 2 goals for North Melbourne. Kluzak wide, not a good kick. Schwartz dumps it. Remember in 1991 when Carey kicked the last 2 for North Melbourne, well, when they were 20 points down at three-quarter time, he kicked a late goal against the Crows, took a mark to win that for North Melbourne on that occasion. Will history repeat itself here? Will the King do something very special tonight and turn it round for North Melbourne? 8-14 to 7-10. 10 points the difference, 62 to 52. Bickley looks on. Poor old pal, he's been sitting there with an eye that would have done Roberto Duran justice just about all night. Or maybe Mike Tyson. There's Roberts. That'll be more topical. Tapped on. Allison. Good finisher. Should go. At 45 metres. Misses. It's a behind.
Nichols was in the middle of that play there, Bruce.
It's been all right, Nichols, hasn't he?
My word.
Allison's first score. He kicked 35 goals last year. Oh, Jemison short. Okay, Lee's got it.
Scott Lee for Adelaide. 13 kicks and 3 hand passes. Kicks in towards the centre. Mark not quite taken by Rashudo. This is Kluzek. Kluzek in towards half forward. Chest mark. Tony Hall. Handball away to the captain. McGuinness off the right foot towards full court. Good diving, or what would you call that, Gerard? It was brilliantly judged by Wellman. A skidding mark on his knees.
Skidding mark, sliding mark, but importantly for Adelaide Crows, they took that ball from a kick in without being touched by a North Melbourne player. Great transition, a couple of marks, a couple of pretty good pinpoint passes, and finishing with a shot for goal.
Sean Wellman from 40 metres. Good looking kick, looks okay. Just off to the right and through for one behind. So a bit disappointing there for Wellman. 10 points is the margin once again. Ross Smith kicks in. Half back, mark is taken by King.
To centre wing. Roberts blue. Free kick. He's got a push in the back. He's had a quiet one tonight. Has Roberts. Goes wide. Carey. 8 marks, 12 kicks. Kicked the last couple, as we said. Thumps it to the goal square. Fantastic kick. Longmire couldn't quite. Still Longmire. Wonderfully played. Nichols, he's got his ball. Oh, touched. Touched by Tregenza, was it? Who touched it? Tregenza, I think.
Like to see a replay.
It looked at goal. Have a look at this. Well, if that was touched, a goal. That's a goal. Well, first call was right. If that was touched, I can beat a Chinese woman over 50 metres in the swimming pool. There's McKernan. There's McKernan. That's a bad kick out by Chalmers.
Well, North Melbourne now have to beat the odds. McKernan's kick to the front of the square. Longmire up high. Ball rebounds. McKinnon leaves it behind. Longmire a little tap. Kick by Rock. That looks pretty good. Anthony Rock, well done. He's got a goal.
This RAA symbol has always represented the pinnacle in motor service standards. Earning RAA endorsement is the toughest test of all. One service group has set their sights on this ultimate goal, to offer nothing less than the highest standards, and so earn the right to display the RAA symbol at every one of its outlets. Not surprising, that group is Ultratune. There are 16 Ultratune service centres and they're all RAA approved. Ultratune, in tune with you and your car.
A good little tap on there by Longmire to give Rock the chance to snap North Melbourne's 8th goal. The Crows go forward. In towards their left forward pocket region. Tony Hall. Tap back for Modra. Modra fumbles. The ball rebounds. Kick off the ground. Only as far as Brown. Came from Stevens. Brown shot for goal. He hooks it across the face. And it's through for a behind to the Crows. The margin 4 points in favour of Adelaide.
North have been in front just once tonight. The first score of the night, a rush point. It's been a long time.
It's the Adelaide Crows just haven't been able to put the final nail in the coffin.
Well, they average 8 goals in Melbourne, Gerard, and they've kicked 8 tonight, and that's been one of their problems. They probably should have kicked 14 with the amount of play they've got. Jarman getting ready to come back on. Wellman held out of it. He's going to get a free kick, Wellman. Well, this is a big call here by Brian Sheehan against Reynolds.
Terrific advertisement for 3 umpires.
No, it's the right decision, there's no doubt about that. Pretty ordinary piece of play there on behalf of Keenan Reynolds. He just had to float in behind Stevens and fake it a little bit better than he did. Pittman coming off the ground. Andrew Jarman. That's the match winner. And the trouble back on for Melbourne.
Well, Wellman missed one a moment ago. What's he done here? I think he's got it. Goal. So Wellman's kicked his first. He just missed one from a bit further out about 5 minutes ago. And the Crows keep on coming back. See the free again as Reynolds runs across after Stevens really was always in the box seat, wasn't he?
Pretty good kick there from Sean Wellman. And once again, the Adelaide Crows just finding another option up forward. Boy, they've done plenty of experimenting with some success tonight.
Well, they've now upset the statisticians, Bruce. They've kicked 9 goals in Melbourne. 9-16 to 8 goals, 12.
That was an average, Robbo.
And they lead by 10 points again. They forced the ball to within scoring distance. Punched back. North Melbourne will clear through Anthony Stevens. His kick underneath it is Roberts. Oh, top effort from behind by McKinnon. Play on. Rashudo gets it back now to Connell. Connell, lovely little kick. Brown is on the end of it. Schwassel just a little late on the scene. Brown will kick Adelaide inside 50 metres. A high kick towards full forward. Smart in front, it's punched back. Gatherers by King over the top. Gets it back to Stevens. Stevens hooks the kick to the advantage of Adelaide, really. McKinnon in good position, takes the mark, gets the hand pass back. Scott Lee running through the wing. His kick will land inside 50 metres once again. Ball may have been interfered with. A loose kick, gathered by King. Sweeping hand pass out into the path of Scott. He's going to get run down. Able to get his left foot to it. Longmire gathers. Can he get past? Yes. Right foot kick by Longmire to 50 metres. Punched back towards the centre of the ground. Schwass well tackled. Down he goes. Gatherers by McKernan. McKernan's kick will be marked safely by Wren.
Plays it on. Crows lead 9-16, 8-12. 11.5 minutes remaining. Important ball here. Longmire goes against Jamison. Nichols, who's been very good. He's kicked 3 goals tonight. Should have had 4. Yes, he saw Scott at 70 metres. A little chip, a good one to Roberts. On the end of it at 50. McDermott hangs on to him for a long time.
Just gone out of the game a bit, McDermott.
Carey provides the first lead. They've got McKernan and Carey and Capuano who've got some firepower. Wren will go back. Roberts times it well, kicks it very strongly, it's right there. Grab at the back, not held that time by Carey. Still with Carey, well played. Wren deliberately knocks it out, but you'd be a brave umpire to pay it against him in that situation. Well, the fingernails are getting a run, aren't they, early in the season for the coaches. 8-12, 9-16, Crows in front.
You'd have to say if North Melbourne snatch it, the Crows would be a bit stiff. They've done everything right so far in the match. I think you mentioned, Bruce, that North have only been in front once for the entire match. Scott, Rock, Armstrong, Longmire, kicked off the ground, McCartney, Campbell, gets it to Roberts. Snapshot by Roberts is miraculous. Just offline. 1 point registered by that left foot snap by Mark Roberts. Difference 9 points. Kick-in has been marked by Jamison. Jamison from the right back pocket. Kicks to a vacant wing area. The race is on here between Scholl and Smart. Ball trundles over. We'll have a throw in. On centre wing, equidistant from either side's goal. Scott having a spell on the bench for North Melbourne. Capuano doing the ruck work. So with Rashudo. Armstrong underneath that, David Brown and Kluzek. The Adelaide tacklers. The umpire will be forced to bounce.
Still plenty of time for both teams here, but particularly in North's situation, they need a couple of goals. 10 minutes remaining. Rock in the path of Campbell, had to get a quick kick, he did. McKinnon and Nichols, Carey launched himself. McKinnon with courage, stayed underneath it. Held up by North Melbourne. McKernan inside. Connell has been outstanding. This is dangerous. Tregenza's got to take a big mark. Campbell went with him. Tregenza and Campbell. Important Tregenza doesn't fall over. He's outnumbered. He tries to get a little kick away. Campbell was able to keep him off. Allison, beautiful kick. Wonderful footy. Went straight down the front of Armstrong. Well, the Connell kick, I guess, to Tregenza was always a dangerous one.
Yeah, he saw him at the corner of his eye. He made the same mistake which we highlighted early in the game. He was trying to maintain possession, and it's tough on him to be critical of that. But it's had to be like an absolutely spot-on kick, and under the enormous pressure of the moment, perhaps the boundary line would have been a better bet.
What about this kick, Gerard, under pressure? Matthew Armstrong, reliable?
A pretty good kick for goal.
40 metres out, straight in front.
Fly the new Qantas business class to Hong Kong any day of the week. And with all the extra legroom, you'll feel like you're the only person on the flight.
With any purchase over $400, you can pay nothing for 3 months from Bob Jane T-Marts. No deposit, no charges, no interest. And now no excuses for unsafe wheels and tyres. Bob Jane T-Marts, the most trusted name.
Isn't it interesting how crucial those centre breaks become in a tight game, just 9 goals apiece. Gets down to about 8 minutes left in the game.
Well, that crucial, Sean Wren's gone onto the ball.
Capuano, Jarman gets it clear. Schwass, quickly with the right foot. Allison, well done, made good ground. Took a safe mark. Swings play to the opposite side of the ground. Well, basically, it's landed with Schwass in the centre. He goes towards half forward. Carey up high. Nichols, can he get his fifth? It will bounce close to the square. Jamison gets back. Reliable defender all night for the Crows. He's kicked out towards halfback. Marcus taken by Wren. Schwass. Just a little late there. Away to Lee. Lee's kick. Taken there by Connell. Connell's on centre wing. Coming up for possession number 26. Towards half forward. Good mark. Excellent mark taken by Scholl.
Been one of the battles of the night. Smart and Scholl both have had dominant passages. Maybe Scholl just on top.
Chalmers at the back of McKernan. King at the front. Cluzak, well done. Well done again to McGuinness. McGuinness gets it towards about 20 metres. Bouncing, Reynolds, did he take it? He had a couple of goes at it. Play on call. Martin. Smith tries to break through. Scholl keeps his cool. Gives Roberts every chance. Allison's loose. Lee will try and plug it up. Goes over the top to Campbell. Campbell, normally a runner. Kicks the ball towards centre half forward. McKinnon. Nichols bounces back and gets a free kick. Gee, I don't know if McKinnon ever took his eye off it.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky on that occasion. It wasn't a great kick from Campbell.
Nichols, normally very neat, goes for Carey. Couldn't quite get it. Well played by the Crow defence. Connell, handball good. Short McCartney. Gee, he went to the boundary line and finds it. I thought he had McDermott very short and avoided him, but went for the safety out wide and got there. So the Crows are just hanging on, but the important thing for them is they have to get another goal. They can't sit on this at 9-16 to 9-13.
Boundary throw in, centre wing. Adelaide by 3 points. Andrew Jarman gets an important quick kick. Craig Scholl does well, keeps it away from Nigel Smart. Connell gets into the action again for Adelaide. He's pushed over. Eventually it's knocked over by David King if it wasn't already out of bounds. Just forward of centre wing. It'll be interesting now to see the statistics of both sides' performances in close finishes. Jarman and Roberts. Roberts a little tap. Vital. Armstrong throws it onto his left foot. Bounces clear. McDermott tackled. Wren. Cluzak. Good spotting, but the kick, well, it was bent out there for Connell, but it went in the favour of Schwass. A free kick was paid in the finish to the North Melbourne vice-captain, Wayne Schwass. Nearing 50 metres, tackled McDermott. Chalmers gives it up. Longmire gone. Absolutely blatant free kick Crows.
I wonder if just under the pressure of the moment that the Adelaide Crows aren't reverting back to that short chip kick style of play.
Not sure if that's Capuano, but just a moment ago, watch this. Got a boot there, unfortunately. Chalmers, it was
Armstrong, isn't it?
Is it Armstrong? Is it? It was unintentional. Probably stretcher coming out. Armstrong, if it is him, it'll be the second time in 6 days that he's been carried from the ground with a stretcher. Here it is. Oh, gee, Chalmers. And Armstrong going down heavily. It is Matty Armstrong. So play being held up. Let's hope that...
it's amazing, isn't it? When you see the replay of
heavy
that
facial injury.
And the ball finishes with Chalmers.
From a different player, I guess, yeah, from about another half a minute on. He's picked himself up. He looks a bit dazed, like Bickley earlier. So Armstrong staying on. Here's Chalmers from half-back. Up towards the centre wing. Smart stayed at the back. Punches it forward. Who's the runner? McKinnon's going with it. Important to keep your feet here. McKinnon still with a chance. Boyle in the pocket. North Melbourne run it out. Nichols gets back in a hurry. Out of play. And McKinnon's done all right tonight.
Pretty slick, isn't he?
He's quick, all right. Gets at that football. Just 19 years of age. He's one of a couple of teenagers in the Crow team.
Not sure Hall it was. Tried to take the ball out of the ruck contest. Wayne Schwass couldn't control it. and it goes over for a boundary throw-in.
Well, they're the home and away record. North Melbourne at home, Adelaide away. Only 18% of the time they win. Well, they're in the driver's seat for the moment. They lead very narrowly here.
Tony Hall tried to hack it out of mid-air. At centre-half forward, very critical position here, gathered by Anthony Stevens. He has been fantastic. He's had 20 kicks and 5 handballs, and all of them in tight contests. 2-on-1 again for North Melbourne. Allison gets past Andrew Jarman, and then forced to kick quickly high in the air, and a terrific mark taken by Jason McCartney. Coming through past Carey, and backed himself and took an excellent mark. Maybe the lights being a disadvantage there for the North Melbourne captain, but the ball with McCartney for Adelaide. 5 minutes left in the game. 3 points is the margin. Andrew Jarman off to Tony Hall. Kick towards full forward. Martin Rashudo. Ball rebounds for Wellman. Can he gather it? Yes, he can. His step shot for goal is good. He's got his second.
Get a job. Get a job. Get a job. Get a job.
From the trusted Triton to the new Express walkthrough, there's a Mitsubishi to suit any job. Designed to be amongst the most reliable vehicles on the road, it's no wonder Mitsubishi Tritons and Express vans are the ones businesses count on, day in, day out.
Wellman's kicked the last 2 goals for the Crows. It's 9-13, 10-16. Campbell out of the centre. North won it back. Carey couldn't quite. McCartney was there. Nichols gave it to Scott. Pulled off the footy free kick. Oh, Scott will take it from about 45 metres.
He had the ball for a split second too. Nichols gave him the half-yard handball.
Well, this was what he was recruited for, I reckon, Joe. The kick goals. He's had 12 kicks tonight. Most important kick, this one. This to keep North right in touch with 4 minutes remaining. Just 5 goals last season in 9 matches for Scott. Has Matthew Armstrong been cleaned up there? Will it be the blood rule for him? The umpire looking at him. He's going to make him go off. Oh, yes, I think so, on the blood rule. So Armstrong, he's got a little nick across the neck, comes off. Got to wait.
He's going to have a shave at half time.
Got to come off the ground. A replacement's got to be made. Longmire's going to come back on. And generally, well, we have to wait now till Longmire takes up a favourable position. I guess it doesn't make too much difference with Scott at 45 metres out. So he's going to run down to the goal square.
Almost struggle to make the distance here, I think, Bruce.
As I said, just 5 goals in 9 matches last season, but on 2 occasions has kicked over 40 goals in a season. And this really a big one for North. They're a couple of kicks away. They've only led for a few moments throughout the game, and that was in the first couple of minutes. And this to give North a real chance. Doesn't quite make it. Big leap from a couple of North Melbourne players. Nichols round the body. North Melbourne hands there, Wren there. You reckon the Crows will try and force it through from behind. They force it back. Roberts has a shot, and he's got it.
Ultra Tune and the family holiday.
Well, it's been a while since the last service.
Yeah, well, your timing's great.
Oh, yeah? How's that?
We're cutting all major services by $30.
$30? Oh, only 4 cylinders?
No, off 4, 6s and 8s.
Oh, great.
It's a holiday special.
Sounds like your timing's right, mate. Book me in, will you?
I will, right.
I guess you can hear the precious cargo in the background here.
Sounds like my place.
Ultra Tune, in tune with you and your pocket these holidays.
Well, I know we won't get it, but a good result for this game would be a draw. Schwartz it is that clears the centre. Up to half forward, Carey. Ball rebounds for Chalmers, goes for the boundary line and finds it. So it's a good 2 kicks from North Melbourne's goal. We've got 3.5 minutes left in the game. Can North Melbourne snatch victory here at the MCG in the 1995 season opener? Wren and Capuano. Capuano gets his hand to it. Schwartz held. Now, where did the kick go? Not to North's advantage, so the ball will come back to Wayne Schwartz on centre wing.
Great piece of play there by Schwartz. He knew he was about to be tackled, so he just gave a little dinky 40-yard handball just to get rid of possession of the ball. Jarman effected the tackle and he grabbed a free kick. Vital one also.
Another good performance by Wayne Schwass. His kick will land inside 50 metres. Can North Melbourne take a mark? The ball with Nichols. Now McGuinness kicks it back towards the wing. Andrew Jarman. Schwass. Ball spills over for a throw-in.
You reckon if the Crows can kick another goal, they'll win, Jared? It's about as simple as that. If the Crows get one more goal, they'll win. So
I agree with that.
It's got to be their target to try and score again. Schwass, and again out of play. 2 minutes and 55 seconds remaining. North Melbourne coming home at the Adelaide Crows. What a match to start the 1995 Premiership season. Wren, high ball, centre wing, Brown, King with him, out of play. So valuable seconds for Crows with plenty of time for North Melbourne. Still heaps of time for them to manufacture a goal here. Long way from both teams' goals at the moment. Roberts takes it out of the air. Crows put a tackle on him with McGuinness and also Jarman. And again it'll be a bounce. Free kicks, Jared just pointing out, 27 North Melbourne, 14 Adelaide. 10-13 to 10-16 the scoreline.
On centre wing. Roberts up high. Punches the ball clear for a throw-in. So the Crows would be pretty happy with the seconds ticking away out there on centre wing. Probably nearly 3 kicks from either side's goal. Such has been the difficulty in getting good distance with the kicks this evening. Modra kicks it towards half forward. North Melbourne will gather. Campbell receives from Blakey. Goes back to King. King fumbles. Can he get past? Yes. Gets his right foot to it. Kicks it back towards the wing position. Wren fumbles. Taken by McKernan. McKernan gets a very, very important kick. Carey couldn't take the mark. Scott. McKinnon. The ball spills for another boundary throw-in as Carey appeals to the umpire.
What a game it's been, though. It started with a frenetic pace, the defensive skill paramount, and it looks like it's going to finish in exactly the same way.
Down under 2 minutes. Wren into McKernan's back. A very, very iffy, in my opinion, ruck infringement. McKernan is a long kick of the football. He'll put this nearly into the square. A thumping kick by Corey McKernan. At the back. Chance. Anthony Ross kicked the goal. North are in front. You wouldn't believe it. The ball spilled to the back of the pack. Anthony Ross swooped on it. Kicked it off the ground. North Melbourne in front.
Well, what value is this big bloke up in the forward line? McKernan is just a, well, he's a superstar in the making. Great goal there by Rock, opportunistic goal. Thought North Melbourne have had too many blokes flying for the one ball in the square, but this game isn't over. Often you get the lead at this point of time, you can drop your fumble only to lose the game.
First time they've been in front, North Melbourne, since the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. McGuinness from the centre square, Crows need a mark. Hall sets himself, goes to ground. Bouncing ball. Keenan Reynolds has got hold of it. Oh, cool head by Reynolds to King. Roberts is short. North Melbourne are coming home well. A bad kick by King. Roberts gets back beautifully. Crows made a bit of a meal of it. Now McGuinness goes off the ground. Jarman couldn't quite hold it. Blakey throws himself across, throw in. A minute remaining. North have been in front for the first 2 minutes of the match and for the last 1 minute of the match.
That's the one that counts.
It sure does. Wren and Capuano. Brown. Schwass. North will be happy now when they hold it up. Seconds ticking away. 70 metres from the Crow goal. North won't care about scoring anymore. They'll just want to hold it up.
Actually, Roberts has been important in the last 10 minutes, hasn't he? He's got his hand on the ball a couple of times.
Along with Anthony Rock, and the North Melbourne runner has just come out and sending everybody down into the fence. John Longmire pushing down, going over to create an option.
70 metres from the Crows goal.
So you wouldn't want to let the Crows get a clear possession.
Smart to go, over the top. Jarman's kick was ricocheted. North Melbourne fans say free kick holding the footy, but not that time. clock is counting down. Connell. Rashudo. North have got it. Kangaroos have got it. 4 seconds to go. 11-13 to 10-16. McKernan. Rock. Quick kick. There it is.
Amazing, isn't it, how that happens, though? Just in the last few seconds, the ball's built to the back and...
Yeah, but you've got to remember, this team has won 1 out of 18 in Melbourne. We said the best team got beaten in the preliminary final in 1993 when Essendon came over the top and beat them. You've got to learn to win the close ones. Here's Trent Nichols in the dipper.
Thanks very much, Bruce. Well, it's not on to the Fat Lady 6.
Is that true, Dipper? We won it on the last knock, but it's a great victory and we'll take it.
Now, all night we said the endeavour for both sides was fair dinkum tonight. It was really hard the ball.
Oh, it was a fair dinkum full-on contest out there. It was a bit different to last week. We expected a big game and we certainly got it.
And your own form in front of goals tonight?
I started slowly, but three's good enough.
Well done, mate. Good on you.
Well, he did pretty well, didn't he, Trent Nichols? 1 goal would have been pretty vital had North lost, because it looked as if it hadn't been touched by Tregenza. Nichols with 3 goals. Well, what a remarkable performance by North Melbourne. They led in the first 2 minutes of the game when they scored a rush behind and didn't lead until 2 minutes remaining at the end of the match. Adelaide, at a couple of stages, they led by 19 points halfway through the second quarter. They led by 15 points at one stage in the third quarter. They looked almost home and hosed a couple of times.
I think you're a bit tough, Bruce, on your hometown heroes, because Jared pointed out something which is interesting. You wonder whether justifiably 28 free kicks to 14 is a statistic. You can have a look at that. And they did lead, and I mean, it's a bit of good fortune when the ball spills to the back. Maybe strategically you can say there should have been a guy there to stop Anthony Rock, but they were good. They were lucky. The difference between
the Crows winning and losing is a big thing in Melbourne tonight. It was just the start they needed to get away to a good start in 1990.
I've seen a big difference with Robert Shaw coaching, and I'm sure they've got plenty to look forward to this year.
No doubt about that, but that was one that got away.
It certainly did get away. In defence of the Crows, they didn't have an interchange bench for the last 2 quarters. A lot of injuries down there, but disappointment will be right down in their dressing rooms, because you're right, Bruce. It was the one that did get away.
11 goals, 13 North Melbourne, 79. Adelaide 10-16, 76.
Bruce McAvaney hosts Australia's #1 sporting show, Sports World, every Sunday morning on 7.
Let's get him out! Good idea to bring that watching in, you know. Yeah, I don't think this rain's ever going to stop. Crikey, let's get out of here! You little flies! Didn't see that lady's face. Crikey, what is Mum point out?
Our extra value meals still include a large burger, medium Coke and fries for only $3.95, because old-fashioned value is nothing new at McDonald's.
Quantro esciencio, questro allegario, vivanziant. A pensianio, la donna me pie, quanto estratie, a vira torrantie, quel stanzanzionti, male...
Having trouble fitting into your jeans? Get into Riders by Lee.
Buy the new digital freestyle from Optus, and you could enjoy 1 hour of free local calls on weekends.
Hi, it's me. Yeah, I've got the ticket.
That's right, free local calls on weekends. Of course, there are other ways to get in touch for free. But only Optus Freestyle gives you free weekend local calls.
Is insane? You bet you can, every day. Like these start of footy season specials. A long brew, short priced at only $23.99. Red Label Johnny Walker walks out at only $23.99. Your lumber, you'll love it. 2 litre casks only $8.49. Jim Barry Watervale, there's no reasoning why you should pay any more than $7.99. Get into your nearest Sip and Save. They're everywhere with everyday low prices.
How would you feel about a garbage bag with bags of strength? Glad Tough Stuff bags.
All Goodyear Rug stores are celebrating the grand opening of our new store at Westfield Iron. So you'll save on all these rugs and runners and many more at Goodyear Rugs, the store that broke the camel's back.
You gotta get a Goodyear rug. A better skipper than me? I'd like to see that.
These guys can whack the ball a mile with their fists? Yeah, I'd like to see that.
And look at that touch. Ball control. With a ball that shape. I'd like to see that.
Ball handling brilliant.
Get a job. Get a job. Get a job. Get a job.
From the trusted Triton to the new Express walkthrough, there's a Mitsubishi to suit any job. Designed to be amongst the most reliable vehicles on the road, it's no wonder Mitsubishi Tritons and Express vans are the ones businesses count on, day in, day out.
Oh, what a fantastic finish here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Can you believe it, Gerard Healy? 11 goals, 13 to 10 goals, 16 in the end.
7 Sports is proud to present this match as part of the 1995 Coca-Cola AFL Premiership season.
Gerard, the Crows in front for what, 99... A lot of percentages tonight we've been showing you for about 99% of the game. Nichols got 3, by the way, for North. Carey a couple, Longmire a couple. Rock got 2. For the Crows, they had 4 players get 2. Smart, Jarman, Wellman, Wren, not Hall and not Modra.
No, but what a game it was. It was just nip and tuck the whole way. The Crows looked to be in charge on a number of occasions. But your point is valid. They just haven't learned to win here in Melbourne, and until they do, well, they're not going to be a serious final threat.
It is a remarkable statistic, isn't it? In their last 18 games in Victoria, they've won 1, and that was a finals match against Hawthorn, and in 2 seasons, they've won 2 matches here in Melbourne, and this is into their 3rd season. They're going to win some games this year, for sure. You
Exactly.
think over here.
Well,
but they had won 1 tonight and couldn't quite do it.
No, I just think back, and I think, well, Robert Shaw, he was hamstrung a little bit by injuries to his players. Nobody on the interchange bench who could swing back. There's the statistics for the match. We'd expect that it'd be pretty even. I think it's only going to be the free kicks that show any disparity at all. And there you see it. It's a, well, it's double. 2-1 there for North Melbourne. When you consider that in the context of a very close game, perhaps that was a significant factor. North Melbourne also had a goal robbed from them, you could say. So, I mean, the post-mortem can show up anything, but in reality, it's always the scoreboard that counts. I think this is a good move from Robert Shaw. Andrew Jarman has got a future as a forward pocket, a full forward as he played him today. And interesting, the technique for a check side punt, very rarely discussed, but I think if you just run at the far goal post and bend the ball, point the ball at the centre of the goals, it often works pretty well. This was an important passage of play because it's an area where the Crows have been deficient, bringing the ball from a kick in and creating a goal. They did it with good skills, pretty direct play. They didn't send the ball too quickly. They brought it across the half-forward line. Connell finished off with a nice goal from just inside the 50-metre zone. Quick hands there by Andrew Jarman. We know he's got that great skill. And here's one, just pure desperation. This is when we probably considered that the Crows had the game won. Rashudo battled hard to get the ball free. Wellman got a mongrel kick to slide through the big sticks. And perhaps they just dropped off. I think this man was perhaps best on the ground. He was forced to go into defence to take Wren out of the game, and he did exactly that. He got the ball ground level, he got the ball in the air, and he is a remarkable player.
McKernan, you reckon best on the ground?
I think so.
We'll get your Sports World 3-2-1s later tonight. What about the match summaries? We take a look at those. A bit different summary from last year with centre efficiency.
Well, just to explain that, for every time the ball is tapped by the centre, the ruckman for, say, North Melbourne, they've only cleared it out of the centre on just over 50% of the occasions, and that's the same with the Adelaide Crows.
Big difference inside 50, the Crows 57 to 43, and a big difference in goal efficiency, which is basically accuracy in front of goals. It includes kicks out of bounds on the full.
Yes, and once again, it just shows that the Crows are doing more than enough to win the game from centre-half forward line back. But once the ball gets inside their 50, they're just not converting enough, and therefore they have a pretty low goal efficiency. The turnovers were quite significant. Adelaide just giving the ball away a little bit more, but they do tend to handle it a little bit. But I thought with a few exceptions, they are getting that chip kick over possession type of game out of their play. Connell just dropped back into it a couple of times under a little bit of pressure. But all in all, I thought good signs for both clubs.
Let's take a break, Jared. Come back with more from the MCG after this.
They're back. Rex and the boys on the Sportsworld Footy Panel. The original Footy Forum, Sunday on 7.
You want to spill blood on the same patch of grass as the men that came before you. It doesn't separate men from boys. It tears them apart. Broken fingers, 2 shoulder reconstructions, 40 stitches in my face. I'd recommend the game to anyone. I've walked off the field with fewer points than my opponent, but I've never walked off the field a loser.
How would you feel about a garbage bag with bags of strength? Glad Tough Stuff bags.
Are you ready for this?
And maybe some of this.
Every minute of every game, we'll be thinking of one thing.
Winning the cup.
Come on, Aussies, let's get it on.
Rugby's greatest hits. Coming soon.
I'll be lucky to fly as far as the end of the street. What? You're kidding.
Take a ride in a revolutionary motor car so amazing it can avoid breathalyzers and parking tickets. Take a taxi.
More people around the world use HP printers to communicate simply because they work. HP printers, the way the world prints.
Bob Jane T-Marts roll out the red carpet for drivers of small cars with quality radials at only $47, including fitting, balancing and valves. Get the red carpet treatment with quality radials for most small cars at only $47. Bob Jane T-Marts, the most trusted name.
How does it happen? Painting a sign or digging a mine, and you strain till you think that you'll burst. You sure got a thirst. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. You're leading a band or shoveling sand, you can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. Vic Bitter.
Seven Nightly News is about stories that are relevant to people's lives.
Relevant.
What we aim to do is put the world at your fingertips.
Your world.
The out-of-control semi slammed into the back of their caravan.
We're the closest station to the AFL.
The news of the day, on the day, as it happens.
Nobody knows how to make like seven.
Next on 7, Sylvester Stallone and Dolph Lundgren in a hard-hitting, action-packed late movie, Rocky IV.
Close all night, wasn't it? In the end, North Melbourne by 3 points in the last couple of minutes over the Crows. 11 goals, 13 to 10 goals, 16. Let's go down to the North Melbourne rooms. Dipper's down there, Jared, and he's got Craig Scholl with him.
Thanks very much, Bruce. A tight one tonight, Craig.
Yeah, that's for sure. It was very tight. They played well, and you know, we just stalled at the end. That was very good by the boys.
I thought your battle with Smart tonight was a classic battle on the footy ground.
Yeah, Nigel's a very good player, and I kept waiting for him to, you know, because he can lift, you know, every now and then he can just take the game by himself, and I just kept waiting for it to happen, and it did. You know, Nigel and I had a good battle, so it came out good.
Craig, congratulations on a very good game, but the transition from a midfielder, say a wing player, to centre-half back, did you put your hand up, or was it a nomination from Dennis Pagan?
Oh, I had a bit of a chat to Dennis about it, Jared, and he, I mean, it's just something we lost Peter Mann last year he wanted to go home, and I mean, I've played centre back a little bit in my junior days, so it just come round, and our back line just swaps around a bit. It depends on the height. We just go wherever we can, so it's worked out that I've played centre back the last couple of weeks.
Craig, was it, sorry mate, was it difficult tonight? I mean, last week you won a big match against the Crows, to come up again against the same opposition within 6 days?
Yeah, it was. We played, 4 good, games out at Waverley, and it's a very big ground, and I think the boys will probably have a light swim tomorrow, and it has taken a bit out of our legs, but, they just got to take the close ones, and we took it tonight. It was good.
Craig, were you anticipating as a club that the big fellow Wren would be in attack?
Not really. We thought he'd stay down the full forward line there, or end up staying in the ruck. But I mean, with Robert Shaw, you don't know what's going to happen, because the coaches these days, they throw the moves pretty quick, and you just got to, whoever grasping at the time, you just got to play with it, what the moves they make.
You're building a great defence back there, I think, Craig. I mean, a lot of spirit between the guys that are playing at the back for North Melbourne. Yeah. Terrific last week.
Oh yeah, our back line is very close knit, as we are with our forward line too, and on ballers. But I mean, blokes like Ross Smith, and I mean, we've still got Ian Fairley to come back, who's a very good player. The older blokes are just great for us young blokes, and I mean, it's just really close knit down there at the moment.
And you've got a superstar back there now, haven't you? Jared was just pointing out Mickey Martin. What a big star he's become, Craig.
Oh, Mick's a cult figure at the moment. He's great down there, Mick. He cops a bit of flack, but I tell you, he's one of our top men down there.
And also one of the team leaders tonight, I thought played quite well, was Swassy.
Oh, Swatter always plays well, Dipper. Swatter's one of those blokes, he just keeps giving and giving and giving for the side, and he never stops.
Good on you, Craig. Thanks for that, Dipper. Terrific match. What a way to start the season. As we look at tomorrow, Jared, very quickly, some good games. Geelong, Melbourne?
Yeah, I think Melbourne can upset Geelong at home.
Richmond, Fremantle?
Richmond.
Hawthorn, Brisbane?
I think Hawthorn. I like Brisbane. I'm going with a home side.
Fitzroy and Essendon?
Well, I think Essendon will win that one, and the good luck to Bernie Quinlan, his first game as a coach.
Carlton, Collingwood?
Well, what a game that should be. An absolute blockbuster here on Sunday at the MCG, but Collingwood a little bit depleted with injury, and I think Carlton will rebound. I think they'll also be a threat for the flag.
West Coast, obviously favourites over St Kilda.
They are. They don't kick a lot of goals, though, the West Coast, so I think it'll be quite a tight tussle over there. St Kilda are pretty buoyed with their recruiting, but West Coast you'd have to go with.
And a good game at the Western Oval.
Well, toss the coin there. I'll stick with the Scraggers on their home turf.
The 1995 AFL Premiership season. Brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors Australia, Qantas, McDonald's, Mobil, Carlton Draft, and National Australia Bank.
And Jared, the Sports World votes $20,000 courtesy of McDonald's.
Yeah, well, I gave Corey McKernan the Big Mac because he worked pretty well at both ends of the ground. He did nullify Wren, and then he went forward, and I thought took some heat off Carey and won them the game. Stevens had a great job in the middle on McGuinness and on Chris McDermott, who faded a little bit, but still Adelaide's best player.
Good on you, Jared. McKernan, Stevens and McDermott. I hope you've enjoyed it at the MCG. What a cracker it was. North Melbourne by 3 points in the end.
I got a long road to walk down to catch a tram to my favorite ground. Use my legs, use my voice, make some noise, support the boys, and that's what football means to me. That's how I like my footy to be, and well, that's the thing about, that's what I like about, yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about, yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about, yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about, yeah, that's the thing
has been a 7 Sports production. This